Glad to help you. John.
Are you guys doing random hearing?
Well, they don't do them for the start, and they will do them random very rarely. The main concern is that we have one signed up, just the top one part of it signed off from you in case you appear intoxicated at work or if you're to get hurt or something.
Oh, okay.
One thing I do want to put out there too, because of because cannabis is recreational here in Michigan, we treat it just like alcohol. Okay. Just like we wouldn't expect you to come into work after drinking, don't come into work after using cannabis. Okay. Don't use on break, but save it for home, just like you would with alcohol. All right.
Strawberries. Hello, Casey. I'm good, cheeks, buddy.
Comes nerves of steel, that man.
Why?
Dealing with more pressure now than a...
Exactly, Witcher. I knew.
I don't know what you guys are talking about your handwriting. It's better than mine. Felt it.
You are the 45th President of the United States of America.
Hi, Steve. You've heard me explain it twice. Yeah.
I went from loathing Brie Larson to being the unofficial #1 fan site for Brie Larson.
How about a handshake? You're going to give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle, and in return, I'm going to let you keep your hand.
Hey, yo. How is everyone doing today? I'm doing well. Just finishing my bowl of plain chicken strips. Probably more rib meat than chicken. Hey, BG Cast is coming in.
There's a place in the break room for that. In fact, they have refrigerators that are lockable, so no one can sneak into the break room.
How's everyone doing today? Dilly.
Everybody takes a break at the same time, so. Yeah, they secure that too.
Are we going to do the dilly thing? Is that going to be us? I think maybe. Now, interesting day yesterday. The manosphere got hit with some bimbo operations. Not a good look. Not a good look to get bimbo opt. Very, very, very bad look. Check this out. I had like
Well, I mean, the best, if you
kinda
can't find it,
weird.
ask me. I'm going to tell you what it is.
there.
Well, if
I
you
had
miss
like
more than
this,
6, then they will retest you after a week of work. But it's
I
it's
don't know.
not going to keep you from getting a job. No.
Felt like a spur on my tooth.
Well, I mean,
on the
you
back
could
of my
do
tooth.
that. I mean, like I said, it's the
Angel,
best thing to do
Q-Man,
is
how's
just
your
try and find
treadmill?
it. If
It's
you
much
can't,
better
ask me.
than
I'm going to tell you, and I'll make sure you understand why it's the answer.
we had a tread climber around, and it
Alright.
just was like destroying my
I got it
back.
right.
Yep,
So I
see?
bought a new treadmill.
Here goes one.
Just kind of like a regular treadmill, and it's been much better. But I had like this
20, 25 out of 30 feet.
Well,
it was like it felt like a spur on the back of my tooth, right?
it's not shooting
So I
your
like
eye.
got one of those like I hate using regular
If
floss.
you're not
I
sure
use
about
those,
an
like,
answer, you
picks
should
with
ask
the little
me.
floss on the end. And I was like, you know,
That's why I'm
flossing,
here.
trying to
Tell
like
you,
I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe it was,
allergens
like,
are
a chip
green.
stuck in there or something like that.
White
I
is
must
white
have
is
went too
non-allergen.
hard, and I
I
like
was wrong on that one.
chip
The first
pulled a
one,
chip.
but then you got it right down
chunk of
here.
my
It's
tooth
almost the
out.
same question.
like
so that's fine.
like I don't know. Thankfully, it didn't expose the root, but I have to go to the dentist this week and get that checked out.
But some of them are common sense.
Yeah. It's remember
That was
when I was
weird.
talking about how they don't want you
Very
wearing the
weird.
boots to and from work?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that one is here. It's a short sleeve white t-shirt, but not a sleeveless. white t-shirt.
Very
No big deal. So just one on
weird.
that page. Double checking
I
here.
do pretty good at reading without.
Oh, hey, what's up?
having my glasses.
XP Bless.
No, that's a tough one.
Everything gets blurry up close.
The blue brush
Use
question is
one of
kind of
those
a trick question.
Pick floss
The blue brush
accelerator
is for
with a cap.
machines,
Yeah,
but the white conveyor
I
belt.
think it was just like
is
too.
it's contact.
It was like
surface.
too
So that'd
rigid,
right.
and like it came out, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, what the
I
hell?
missed it
That's
the
like
first
a
time I
big
took it
piece.
too.
What was in there?"
It's-
And they're like,
it's just one of
"Oh
those that are in
no!"
there to get
Oh
everybody. I think.
no! It was like
It's
a piece
rare
of
that
my
anybody
tooth, and
gets
it
that
wasn't like
right.
a tiny bit.
No, it is a peanut-free facilities,
the
but
size
peanuts
of a
are
match
also an
head,
allergen,
maybe.
so it's both.
Yeah.
The root is a
That's
social.
it. I couldn't
construct.
even- I couldn't
Yeah,
bring
construct,
nothing
yeah.
with peanuts
Nope,
inside.
nope, can't even bring in Snickers. If a
The,
pouch lands on the ground, it goes into an animal feed.
Well, you know what the
container.
problem is? Now I
They
keep
send it off to,
rubbing
like,
my.
pig
I
farms
keep
and
like
stuff.
sticking my tongue like.
So it doesn't
I
go to
feel
waste.
it, and I keep like playing.
And they
with
can't
it
rework it
now.
once
It's like in the bottom of my front tooth.
That's just me.
Good.
I would be failed by the FDA.
No, you would fail. And in fact, I don't even think you
So
missed.
I got what, 3 wrong?
No, no,
Four
no.
wrong?
Thanks for
3,
the
4,
entertainment.
5, I
Hope the
think.
pups are okay. And Martin, wow, y'all have been very
Still,
generous.
you're in the
with
limit,
Thank
so.
you. Teeth are luxury
1,
bones.
2, 3,
Yeah, I
4,
know they are.
Yep, 5. So that's 27. Yep, you're good.
I go in spurts where I kind of don't
Wait,
do the best job taking
Well,
care of them.
even
and
if you
then I
miss
get back
more,
on it,
all that
and
means
it's
is
always
that
like
after a week, they're gonna let you work.
an adjustment
And
period.
you take that home, but
But
they will test you
I'm
again.
hoping that like I
They
don't
won't
lose
even
like the
touch you
tooth
again.
doesn't. I hope
Most
it's
of the
just like a
people
weird. It was from the bottom of the tooth. It
Oh
was
no,
some
well
crap.
you're done with the
But I
paper.
want to like play with it. You know, no, it wasn't a filling because it like if you imagine like
Maybe have a seat at the
like
computer.
the tooth, you know, like the root of it, and then it goes up like the
Get
square
you
one in the
rolling here.
front.
Now I'm viewing from over here
It's
too,
from
so
the
I'll be
very
able to help
bottom
you
on-
out. I'm gonna start here
on the
mobile
gum line.
application. All right, go from there.
Rumble still won't let me do Rumble rants. I feel like you've done them before. Get a girlfriend.
Which I'm sorry, I don't know
for 15
about
years.
a number.
I don't know if she'd appreciate me also having a girlfriend.
It is both. Yes, you're right.
The tooth isn't.
The other
real.
one, the one
Yeah,
above
it's
is
possible.
either.
Meth is a hell of a drug. No,
Yes.
no. I never fool around with meth. Although basically, Adderall is meth. And I had a prescription for that
Keep that.
for a little while, and then I read, what it does to
All
you.
right, man.
So
Actually,
it's a
dark is
calcium
holding
buildup. Had the same thing, and a dentist teased me for
That's
thinking
why
it was my
it
tooth
happens
falling
all the
out.
time. My wife got me this, so now I have to pretend like I have it on my desk. all
That
the time.
could be it, dude. That could be it.
In the break room, so
Wait,
you have
Luke
access to
Tay's
them.
dead?
Oh, I was right on that one.
That could
Yes,
be
you're
it.
right.
Because I didn't like see any of my tooth missing, but it was like I don't know how to describe how big or small it was. Smaller than a match head,
What
but
do you
not
mean?
a ton.
We don't actually have to do. You're just giving us permission to do one if we put you in a position where it's required. It's not. It's not.
I had a felony for 5 years.
It's pretty open here to start anyway.
On a,
I mean, if they put it, if they were going to put you into like a management position or
On
something
an
like
up
that, then they
note,
would.
remember,
do it, but it's not required to start.
remember,
Unfortunately,
before we get into the news,
We
have you guys
expect you
been
not to come
following
into work in time.
my GI track, my diarrhea gate? You know, I've
You're
told you guys
responsible
that,
for what's
like,
in it, whatever's in your system. If you get
I've
hurt
been having-
or if you damage the property or something like that.
and like red hot Hershey squirts for like a year. I think I found what it was, or at least what was making it worse was sugar-free Red Bull. I did like a test where I didn't
That has to
drink
be
it
8
for like
digits.
a
It has to
week,
have an uppercase,
and then
lowercase,
it
a
got-
number, and
my-
a symbol,
my
like the example
condition
there on
got
the wall.
much better. And then I drank it the other day, and sure enough, like within an hour.
Yeah, whatever you
like-
used worked. Now remember that because you'll use that later on to check your pay stubs and
I've
stuff
been
like
drinking
that.
these instead, Alani's,
There
and
you
they're
go.
like naturally flavored, and has less of the crazy other stuff. Wait, Lil Tay's really dead?
Either A or B.
Yeah,
for the
rip
first one. Oh,
rip
good though.
Tim's
the two.
chicken, Roberto. Whoa.
Steve. You said you wanted to start Monday.
Yeah, Monday is the back to New York.
Monday is the 14th.
Monday at 5 in the morning. They start at 5.
Yep,
right?
Yep, I'd be there a little bit early first
Yeah,
day,
is
just
that
to
the
let them
other
know.
one over there?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, the building on Telegraph. 14.
And they're gonna know I'm showing up and all that.
I'm gonna let them know.
Okay.
I don't send it out until Friday, the email. So if something changes, let me know.
Okay, no.
But right now I've got you written down
Oh,
for that.
no,
If
just a
anything changes,
kid.
let me know.
Okay, yeah.
But you're all set.
All right,
Oh,
thank you.
direct deposit. What do you want to use?
Can you guys
And her brother died?
I can just change it later on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let me copy it real quick before I hand it to you so I can.
What's going on with that?
I don't-
Wait, her and her brother? What the hell?
What happened to the professional experience?
Must have been like a car accident or something like that. Wait, what? She died and then her brother died, but not at the same time?
So that is a Thursday? No, it's just asking what your general availability is for any position. Not just you.
So Howard.
Other places that we're hiring for here, not right now.
Look, he just copped a brand new Ferrari. Y'all haven't seen this car in your lives. I'm out here
Good.
flexing and all
Okay, so
y'all
if anything
broke
changes,
ass
please let me
haters.
know.
I got a
I might send out,
$350,000
Actually, I'm probably gonna
Y'all
send it
haven't
Thursday
seen
because
this
I'm
in
going
your
out of
lives.
town Friday.
I'm
So
richer than all y'all broke ass haters. Y'all grown ass men hate.
All right, maybe that's not a big deal.
come get that from you in just a second.
Maybe it's not that big a deal. I'm kidding. I kid. I don't know how old she was when she died. Yeah, it should be flexing in heaven. Something is sussy on that. Then again, who the hell knows? You know, people die. One of the things about
You guys are going through these fast.
one of
Even
the weird
Usually
things,
this
one
whole
of the
process takes about an
phenomenon
hour and a
of the
half, and he got done in
is that
45
like
minutes.
when
If I had more than
stuff
one
happens,
computer working right,
right?
I'd have you guys.
We
both on them, but the
instantly
other
see
ones-
it. And
Both
we
of those
are
are
instantly
dinosaurs, though.
inundated. even if something happens 1 in a million times, the reach of the internet can make it seem like it's happening
Let me see
everywhere.
where you're at. Let me see.
You know,
I'm
I'm not going to entertain any.
And that is
COVID
why
theories
I
on this.
remote to it
It's
because
more
I don't,
than
that way I don't
likely
have to
it's
get
like
up for
they
every
were
little thing.
abused, as far as I know.
I use technology to keep me lazy and
Like
fat.
that was a thing. Yeah, exactly. She was dumb AF, but she was just a puppet for her parents to make money. Not sure if her character was actually her. Exactly. Her parents abused her and they forced her to make those videos and stuff. It's a lot like what's that other weirdo?
Exit.
Um,
And then I'm gonna load some forms
little
for you. and I'll
Gronk
log back in
or
and
whatever.
fuck up.
He's gone by the wayside
Give me a
now that his
second.
dad got me too'd. That little Gronk guy had like a big chain, and it turned out
So
his
Blue Rush
dad
is
was
false.
like trying to slide in all these chicks' DMs to be like, "Hey, do you want to do a collab with my son?" And then maybe sit on my wiener. It was really creepy. Like these kids got no chance in life. No chance.
Very good. You only missed 2. Well, you took it first,
is
so
being
everyone else got the
investigated?
benefit of
Okay.
me telling you
Yeah,
what you
I
missed.
bet you there's something happening.
A couple of them
There's
were
something
changed
that
there.
happened. Like,
But it's
how did
fine
she?
with me.
Her and her brother.
As long as you
both died and they
understand
were, like, 12 and
why the right answer is what it is, that's the whole
13.
point. You know, that's why they do it. Yeah.
paddleboarding at the Obamas, maybe.
Yeah, they still make you wear one even if you're bald because bald people still get
I mean,
dandruff.
anything's possible.
So, and they don't want it ending up in the food product. Who would want that? You know?
Anything is
Okay,
possible.
let me load these forms for you
Okay.
now.
How is everybody
Brandon,
today?
Give me a second.
Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum 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 ba-bum bum bum ba-bum bum.
Wow. We've got like 10 offices throughout the country. You know how many Brandon Jacksons are in this system? Wow. 7. Wow. That's a lot for, you know. Why? Not a bad name. They're living my name. The old name.
You're sad. Don't be sad.
Actually, all my friends call me Doc. Because
Don't be mad at me. Hey, here's an interesting thing that could have happened. What I think is great about this, did you see this like liberal woman who has now deleted her TikTok, deleted everything from the internet after posting this video?
I'm literally shaking right now. I was just getting groceries and I live in San Francisco and I never really feel fully safe. If you live in San Francisco, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And I just got groceries. I'm walking.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm confused. If you live in San Francisco and you don't feel safe, you're sure that you know what
Click
she's
on,
talking about. What is she
before you
talking
log in
about?
and log back in.
Wired just bought Reddit. What's happening? I thought Wired didn't even have any money. Wired bought it. Wired doesn't have any money.
Okay, let's see where you're at.
What's happening out here?
All right.
They buy them for like.
That's your employee portal. You can access this from your phone or anything. Okay. You see where it says pay history. That's where you'll be able to check your pay stubs and stuff. Okay. And then at the end of the year, your W-2s will be
By the way, I
available.
just want to
on
point
there as
out
well.
this is the same
Today, you're
person.
going to click on where it says e-documents.
I want to show you the
Right
same
next to that.
person posted this
You click on that green button that says Employee Start Wizard.
not that long ago.
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
I'm
That
going
start
to
going through those
the July
forms.
party
I think
today
that one has a
with
box on the
Giants
top and
and
bottom to
sweaters.
check.
I'm not very patriotic. And they said wear red, white, and blue. And I don't have anything red, white,
And these are just
but I have some
typed out versions of
So
what you have in your handbook. So
before you freak out,
the rules.
it says made you look, Black Lives Matter. So obviously we'll be wearing this to the party.
Obviously,
Okay, yeah, this is the I-9.
right?
Now, where's those other
She's-
names there?
I
Put, and slash name. That's not for, like,
guarantee you
nicknames.
this
That's for, like,
woman
a
is
maiden name or
hard
something
single
like
right
that,
now.
or if you change your name.
Hard single.
Same thing for apartment number. If you don't have one, it has to have NA in
So
it.
I'm going to my
For some reason,
boyfriend's
something has
party
to
and
be
I'm
in all
going
those
to be a
blanks on top.
total bitch. And I'm going to make the whole thing about me and my political views. And I'm going to trigger everybody and it's going to be so great.
I'm
Why
sorry?
am I single?
Oh, no, I get
And,
it.
They're from Ohio, most of his friends, so they're probably Republicans.
Why would you say that? Ohio's like, I mean, if you go to any one of the major cities in Ohio, it's wildly Democrat. Like when they voted for it, it's another reaping what they sow. Yeah.
So wish me luck.
I'm literally shaking right now.
they juxtaposed it with this.
I was just getting groceries and I live in San Francisco and I never really feel fully safe. If you live in San Francisco, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about? What is she talking about? Is there a group of people she's talking about? She didn't just do a racism, did she?
And I just got groceries. I'm walking out of the store and this guy is walking past me and says, "Move, you stupid bitch," and he spits in my face.
By the way, the fact also, she says the individual that did this, and I shit you not. She said the individual that did this was a well-dressed white man in a business suit. Well-dressed, well-groomed white man did this to her. Now, I'm not going down the color lines because mental illness doesn't care what color your skin is. But what I can guarantee you is whoever did this was not a well-dressed white man in a suit and well-groomed. I guarantee you
Yep,
someone
check
spit in
that
her
box
face
and line
and said the
step
things that
5.
she said.
Okay, what's this
But
too?
I
Are you claiming two children?
you
Okay, so you put, I know it's
we're
weird. You
not
put
well-dressed,
4,000 there,
business-like.
and have it, and then step 5 is
and
where you check the
well-groomed.
box.
San Francisco has one of the most rampant
And the
drug-addled
rest of it's just the
homeless
worksheet. It
problems
doesn't
in
affect
this country.
anything.
Maybe the
Scroll all the way to the
worst.
bottom and click next.
What I will say is it was very likely
You don't, not on the W-2. Yeah,
homeless addict.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not gonna
claiming the
make
2 is going to
any
help you.
guesses
So they're
about
not going to tax you as
skin,
much. So when they do take the
because
child
it
support,
doesn't
it's not gonna
matter.
affect you as much.
But what I'm
But
telling
since
you
you're paying child
is
support,
I
you have the right to
guarantee
claim
you
too.
it was not a well-dressed, well-groomed individual that spat in this woman's
Don't believe
face
me.
and then said, "I'm going to rape you."
I had to pay for one of my kids till he was 25 because he was
All over my
pretending to go to
face.
college. His
Then I
mom.
say, "Excuse me, did you
I'm not
just
gonna
spit
get
in my
into it, but
face?"
yeah.
And he says, "Move or I'll rape you." There's also people everywhere and everyone's just walking by because they're like, "I can't handle something else in San Francisco." It's always something else.
Go down to the bottom.
And you know how I know she's telling the truth? You want to know how Papa
If you
Jeremy
wasn't right, it
knows
wouldn't
that
let you
she's
there.
telling the truth? It's because she said everyone stood around and did nothing to help her. That's how I know
Hello?
that it was truly San Francisco.
What's up?
Because try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town.
Right. Yeah, you have 3 days after the technically
I can
the-
guarantee
the
you,
start
if
dates.
this happened around men in any other city on this planet outside of maybe New York, whoever did
No,
this
just
would be
I would just
collecting
as
a
far as
beat down.
e-verify is not really. It's just it just does that checks. It doesn't really matter what the higher date you put.
There's
in
no
is.
doubt in my mind.
But yeah,
There's absolutely no doubt in my mind
yes,
that if
that's right.
a man spat in a woman's
Yeah, I
face,
mean,
and
just
said, "I'm
with the
going
Michigan
to rape you," and
W2,
people are
it's the same
standing
way.
around,
It always asks if they're a new hire or not, and they have to say
that
yes.
shit
And they
won't fly.
They won't let you put a future date.
That dog don't hunt.
So they
San
always have them
Francisco,
put today's date.
100% believe it.
I don't even know why they asked.
100% believe it happened. She's telling the truth.
No problem, brother. Hey, did that dude call you? I sent you guys, you and Heather, an email about him. The
I
one, the Marciano or
suspect
whatever his name is.
that it was in
Marcientos?
fact not a well-dressed, well-groomed.
Well, he said he was
white man.
probably going to go by there. And
I
Tyler's,
suspect
he
that
saw
that
him
is
in my
not
office
true
asking about
because
it.
of her previous videos
Came in and said,
and
absolutely
based
not.
on the type of
Never will.
behavior.
So-
Now, I am not saying
So I just in the email
that
I
a
sent
white
you guys.
person
I
couldn't
just
do
said, you know
this.
what,
My
try and
beef
offer him somewhere else. And
is
we have
with
enough
the
places.
well-dressed, well-groomed.
All right, bye.
I believe someone spat on her face. I believe someone said something heinous to her, but it was not a well-dressed, well-groomed white man.
Okay, have you guys
Didn't
switched
happen.
seats?
Yeah, it's like cocktail. I'm gonna gay bash you. I'm gonna gay bash you. This is mega country, you cunt. I'm gonna gay bash you. Pardon my French. That was someone else saying it, not me. By the way, side note,
Yep. Signing into this other system right now.
I'm not
Just,
sure I
how do you
believe
want
the
to be paid? Do you have
reaction.
a
I not
direct
believe-
deposit you want to use?
I'm
or-
not sure I believe
or,
that.
Cash App or
Like
anything like that?
if someone's walking,
Yeah,
let me
Cash
ask
App?
you what your reaction would be.
You want to open it up? I'll
If
show you how to
someone's
send me the
walking
paper.
past you and they spit in your face, and according to her,
Well, I can.
all over her
Well, what I'm
face,
going to do
like
is I'm
the
going to
many
email you
copies
something
she's
anyway.
likely had.
Okay.
That's fine.
Would you say, "Excuse me, did you just spit in my face"?
And some of the stores haven't been taking
Is there
cash cards.
question? I'm sorry.
That's
What is
weird.
the question? You already
Sorry?
know he
Oh,
spat
you already in
all
the
over your
system?
face.
Is that what's saying? Let me see.
Why would you first question me?
Oh.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Well, if you're in there, I'm going to have to reset something anyway. So.
Did you just spit in my face?
Hang up just a second. Oh yeah, it's just to get you started. So you're okay. So you are in there. Let me pull you up. So you
I'm
only
pretty
have
sure
half
I'm
of it.
going
You gotta do
straight
that.
to violence.
Sweet.
I think the
All right, I
first
get,
move
like-
I'm having there is
You gotta put
violent.
the phone ringing. I get so many calls a day, and then I had to go to a funeral yesterday. So it's my wife's grandma. So I mean,
I've
she lost
seen
her husband
crazy
a year,
people do
almost a year
crazy
ago
things.
today,
Joe,
so
you too. Yeah, I worked at NYC. I don't
she's
doubt the
ready to
crazy.
be.
I don't
be
either.
with them again. So
I
she was
100%
in her
believe
90s,
this
so
happened.
lived a whole life. So it was
But
actually
I do
more of a
not
celebration of life
believe
than anything. Those are the kind of
That it
funerals I
happened
don't
in the
mind.
way that she is trying to pretend it.
Ones that suck are all
did.
these young people that are dying with open
It
heart
100% was not a
I
well-dressed
just lost two people
white
left
man
that I know.
who was well-groomed.
It's constant.
By the way, this person has also had a series of
You're in
anti-Asian.
here. Let's see. Let me
Maybe
just
there
get
was a second
ready for
spitter.
you.
That's true, actually.
I can tell you what the username is. I mean, okay, all right. Let me see. Well,
There
let me load
might
these
have
forms
been-
first.
There might have been a second spitter up on the hill. There are absolutely rampant drug
Yeah.
addled homeless people
Like your
in
first
San
name,
Francisco that were
dot,
attacking.
and then your last initial.
This is a fact. It's also true in DC. Remember what happened to Rand Paul's staffer or whatever? Some dude just came up and stabbed him a bunch of times. That story got memory hold, huh?
Yep. It's Destiny.B. And then whatever you
She
get
also
it.
was found to have a bunch of Asian is not a race, it's a disgrace. Hashtag sorry about my evilness. Do I want a mean Asian from high school snatching my dream job? No. So time to start studying. Leftists are the true racists. Whenever I have no motivation, I think of an Asian getting a job over me, and I immediately get to work. What's with the Asian hate?
All right, click on e-documents.
I love my Asian brothers and sisters.
Yep, and then just maximize that.
I don't
window.
understand it. And by the way, she deleted her entire TikTok. It's now been memory hold. She'll come out on like an apology tour. You know why you delete your TikTok, by the way, after that? Because you lied. Because you lied. Because you lied. By the way, are you white? I bet you are. Well, Best Buy doesn't want you in their management program. This revealed by a citizen journalist. Best Buy has launched a new management program.
Yeah, like I said, I check every day.
Brand new management program. Elon getting fined $350K for protecting Trump. I did see that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Oh, yeah. If you don't want me to sing, you need to go buy some coffee. I've got like my biggest sale ever going on right now. It's so stupid. Like, I'm literally giving away the coffee. It's wild. There's 2 promos going on right now, and I really would love.
Just check for your email for the insurance thing, and email when you get time to fill it out.
Here's our summer bundle sale link. I just put in the chat, and it's also in the description.
Coverage.
We've got our coffee Indian nut selection, massive discount. Our bestseller coffee bundle.
I will reach out to you as soon as I hear anything. So it's a good number though that you have in here, right? To reach you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Flavor bundle, coffee
too.
flavor bundle, whole bean. This is the ground sold out. Then we have our tea bundles. If you're a tea person, you're gonna love those. We've got merch. We've got K-cups. We've got our 5-pound bags. So you get 10 pounds of berries. Massive discount on that. And our cocoa bundle. And everyone, every couple times a day, these sell out. So we cycle in new ones. Like this bestseller one's brand new. And then also in the description, I'll put a link to our Roaster's Choice program. This is the only time I've never put any kind of discount on this before. If you try our Roaster's Choice program, which is our monthly coffee club, and it is super, super, super small batch from all around the world. If you use promo code Roasters40, you're going to get 40% off your first month. And literally nobody leaves this program. It's always a new, interesting flavor from around the world, whether it's, El Salvador pistachio. I mean, you can go back and just see all the flavors that we've had. Honduras, Brazil, Guatemalan. If you're a coffee head and you want an interesting bag, like
it's just you, it's automatically going to do you.
Show off to people that come over every month. This is it. And it's available in whole bean and brown. You're going to get 40% off. If you try it, I know you're going to love it. Roasters 40. And it goes directly to supporting the channel. And your support means more now than ever. And don't forget my nuts, too. They are sweet and salty. Also on sale. Link in the description, or you can go to coffeebrandcoffee.com.
Ace, Mr. Lenovo.
Summer bundles are linked on the homepage now, too.
Yeah, that's what we've been ordering for both laptops.
I'm telling you, anyone that tries my coffee is ridiculous. I'm waiting for the discount.
You can give me a call when you get there if you have any questions.
There'll be a buy more, save more sale coming up next week.
So yeah, I mean, it's not hard to get a basic setup. I mean, I'm setting up a good.
We're excited to announce an awesome
where I'm going to be able to do a lot of stuff remotely for folks.
about the
Um,
McKinsey
I'm
Professional
waiting on them
Development
to approve
Program.
paying for it.
As
but-
part of Best Buy's commitment to develop our support
so,
and support our employees, we've
I'm not, but
partnered
it's, I've
with
got it activated now.
McKinsey
It's
and
on like a
Company to
trial
offer
thing.
the
I just need to figure out how
McKinsey
to send the link
Leadership
to everybody
Program.
where they can just put the program on their computer.
These
So
professional development programs
save
customize
everybody time
curriculum
and money.
and discussions to the unique situations
That'll get-
around
yeah,
you.
yeah. If you have any questions while you're there,
Experiences
just
and
give me a shout.
opportunities for diverse professionals.
Yeah, those two
Candidates
brands
for these
yeah,
programs must
are
meet
generally
the
pretty
requirements
decent.
below. Okay, cool. Cool.
Bye.
Currently working in an exempt salary role.
Perfect.
Okay, well,
Yep.
Yeah.
You can log off. So that's also where, like I said to them guys,
you're
that's where you'll
sold
go
out
to check your
lots.
pay stubs
I
and
know.
stuff as well,
The
okay?
sales going crazy.
Yeah, whatever you have it set at. Yeah. And if you ever get locked out or anything, just give me a call. I can reset it for you.
Leadership essentials.
All right, let's
I'm sorry. Requirement 2, have worked more than 1 year in your
direct
current
deposit. What
role
do
at
you
Best Buy.
You want to do
Okay,
a pay
cool.
card too?
That's fine.
You guys taking all my pay cards.
3,
That's actually why I was
identify
trying to
as
call the
Black,
other office.
Latino,
Hey,
Hispanic,
pay
Asian, or
cards to the
Pacific
left one, but you got
Islander.
one. To have him leave.
A lot of
leave
the
some up
coffee I
for
want
me
is
so I can
sold
have
out.
some
Tell me what's
tomorrow.
sold out.
And then like, so say I do.
That must have just
start
happened
on,
today.
A first shift, will they kind of like bring them other people in before they give me that opportunity to go to second? Like, you know, so they can get, you know, whatever. Now that they'll look at it like, oh, we got more people on first shift, but you know, in second shift, would they, you know, kind of act weird about me changing?
Link doesn't
Well, of
open
course,
just
I mean, once you're
just
in,
go to
once you're in,
coffeebrandcoffee.com.
yeah.
then.
So I mean, if you're really set on second shift, it's not going to be that long.
What do you think about a week, 2 weeks?
A week at the most. I'm thinking.
I want a
She
bunch
just
of
asked me, she
white
said,
people to
anybody
apply for
right
this
sitting right
and just
now,
identify as Black. It's like checkmate. Total
I'm
checkmate.
hoping by at least Monday.
There's nothing they can do.
At least after Monday.
Prove I don't identify as Black or as Pacific Islander would be like really easy, right?
That's why the pay card goes, it won't let you activate it on your side.
No chocolate beans. Yeah, not during the summer. The chocolate beans will start probably in September, but
Just wait until you.
I can't sell them in summer because they melt.
I'll reach out to you. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna stay on top of it. I'll reach out to you as soon as they get it going. And look for that email from the insurance too.
Woo wee. Yeah, I mean, just have, you know, and then also, by the way, when you look at the application form to log in, a lot of the cold brews, and yes, I get it, it's summer. I don't think we are. Let me check.
You guys, it's been nuts so far.
Talking operations right now. This is what happens. This is the advantage of actually owning the company and not being some drop shipper. What's your job title? What's your current leader? What's your job location? Who's your current human resources? Okay, great. Then let's see. Which programs are you interested in? Leadership or management accelerator for people managers. And then the very next question, please select the following requirements that you meet. Best Buy employee, check. 1 year tenure, check. Identify as Black. Then they have another 2 out of the 4 questions. 2 out of the 4 questions. To which cohort do you identify? Black, Hispanic? I mean, it's essentially saying no whites allowed. That's I mean, I don't really know any other way to say it. Pac-Man says the racist Black teacher who wants to eliminate her sister's boyfriend has been fired. I thought only people who could be racist are white. That's true. We should probably protest and steal a bunch of tennis shoes. Lunar Lancer Leader says, is Ancient Order of Men okay? We haven't seen him in months. I hope he's not dead. I don't know. I know he got demonetized, and that's probably not good on the psyche. I feel like I've seen him. I feel like I did. I feel like by the way, I worked for Best Buy when I was in college. And you know, I'm sure the black employees and the Pacific Islanders and Latino employees don't like that policy either. You know what I mean? Sorry if you're hearing the lawnmower. They're probably almost done. And by the way, like, screw Best Buy. You can literally buy everything they sell from someone else. You know what I mean? Literally everything they sell, you can just buy from someone else. By the way, did you see the video's not out yet, so you might be able to get it before they sell? Because I think they only have like 50 or something available at this price. But I have a sponsor for this stream, and it's TackRightQuartering.com. This comes in handy great if you're going to go to San Francisco. Okay, my sponsor today is TackRight. Their mini chainsaw at 50% off for the quartering listeners. The new mini chainsaw is so small, it's mind-blowing. New mini chainsaws make tree trimming easier and twice as fast. Plus, works great for protection when you're in a liberal city. This is the easiest chainsaw to use that can be operated with one hand. Thousands of Americans have already bought this mini chainsaw for the summer, cottage, camping trips, and protection. However, the quartering viewers are able to get 50% off right now. If you go to TackRightQuartering.com, orders will ship within 1 business day from their warehouse in New York. Make sure you check them out. Wood sponsor. Wood sponsor. Pretty awesome, actually. Get all this stuff with it. 88 volt. Whoa. Okay. Looks like it works pretty good. They're using it on wood. Seems like it's working on wood to me. Check them out. Now, use it to threaten street spitters. Yeah, that's what I would do. Now, I don't know if you know, but Hollywood is in big trouble right now. They're on strike. Something they chose to do, by the way. They volunteered to do this. The union said, we're going to go on strike. And so the writers and actors and actresses are all on strike right now, and they're not getting paid because they're fighting the man, right? They're fighting the man. Well, Billy Porter, this is like so hilarious. It's just like that South Park episode where they're talking about Napster and they're like, oh, look at Britney Spears has to wait another 3 weeks for her shark bar or a private jet or whatever the case is. It's one of the most hilarious, the most out of touch Hollywood things since the Gal Gadot Imagine thing during the Koof lockdowns. I really can't laugh at this enough. We're going to get into this full story after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Except all of you don't have to listen to that. Billy Porter's net worth exceeds $5 million, by the way. Billy Porter says, I have to sell my house due to strikes. Slams Bob Iger for saying, quote, our demands for a living wage are unrealistic. F you, F you, F you, Bob Iger. I want to break down this statement that Billy Porter, who has a current net worth that exceeds $5 million. $5 million. He has a net worth of $5 million. And he wants a, quote, living wage. My first response to this was, which one of your houses are you selling, by the way? I mean, can you be a bigger moron who's more out of touch, like legitimately? Can you be a bigger moron? By the way, this is the same person, a biological male that now plays, of course, the fairy godmother. The fairy godmother. That's so wild to me. Billy Porter reveals he's being forced to sell his $1.4 million New York home amid actors' strike and admits he still lives from check to check despite his Pose success. Are you kidding me with this? Like, legitimately, did they think this headline was going to go over well with middle America? Did they think that this headline was going to create a bunch of empathy for these morons? I can't even imagine it. I can't even imagine what they thought, how they thought this was going to go. His net worth, according to Google or whatever, is somewhere around $5 million. Plus, also, by the way, also is recently going through divorce. I'm sure this has nothing to do with him going through the divorce that started just a few months ago. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that at all. Billy Porter said the ongoing writers and actors strikes have forced him to make a difficult financial decision, which includes offloading his Long Island home. I assume he has more than one, by the way. I have to sell my house, the Post star revealed to the Evening Standard. I don't know when we're going to go back to work. Billy, who is in England right now promoting his music career, explained the life of an artist until you make FU money, which I haven't made yet. It's still check to check. This is a guy, by the way, again, worth $5+ million with an extra $1.4 million home that he has to sell, totally unrelated to his ongoing divorce, which was just announced a month ago. I'm sure him selling this home has nothing to do with his ongoing divorce, which started a month ago. It's definitely the writer's strikes, everybody. It's definitely the writer's strikes. He purchased the property in October 2020 for $1.4 million. The site now reports that it's now worth $2.3 million. I'm sure it has nothing to do with him cleaning up and making an additional $1 million. I'm sure him selling his $2.3 million house, his house that went up $1 million in just 3 years, it has nothing to do with it. So this guy is going to make a clean $1 million on this sale. He's going to make $1 million on this sale on top of his many millions he already has. But he wants you to believe he's living paycheck to paycheck. He's just like you, everybody. This single family home is 4,500 square feet with 5 bathrooms and is gated. Billy told them in 2021 the site's 1 acre of land is the first home he's ever owned. Billy revealed to the Evening Standard that 2 of his upcoming projects were axed as Hollywood remains at a standstill. I was supposed to be in a new movie and the new television show starting in September. None of this is happening. The Emmy winner claimed. It sounds like, to be honest, how can we blame this on Trump? How can we possibly make this Trump's problem? By the way, Billy did not mention either project by name, but IMDb has him listed as to star in the upcoming James Baldwin biopic. I'm sure that's going to clean up at the box office. So to the person who said we're going to starve them out until they have to sell their apartments, you've already starved me out. Guys, he's starving. He's only going to make $1 million selling his home. He's only going to net gain $1 million in owning a home less than 3 years. $1 million on top of all the other millions of dollars he has. He's just like you. He's paycheck to paycheck. Didn't you know? This guy's having a horrible time. He just can't get ahead. The final flourish may have referenced an article by Deadline in which an unnamed Hollywood executive said the endgame is allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and losing their houses. Another insider called the strategy cruel but necessary evil. Representatives for the writers met with studio executives last week to talk, but nothing was settled on. Well,
I don't know what's going on with
whatever,
this channel.
discuss the exact same kind of stuff that
I think it's his broadcast.
Twitter was deboosting before. Now, back in December, 8 months ago, exactly 8 months and a day ago, okay, Elon said Twitter is working on a software update that will show your true account status. So you know clearly if you've been shadow banned and the reason why and how to appeal. That was 8 months ago, and we've seen no reply. We've seen no update on this. Because what would be nice is knowing if we actually, what are, if our account's being shadow banned, why? What I don't understand is Elon told us, by the way, that shadow banning was going to go away. I mean, he lied about that, or at least he hasn't followed through. If I put it maybe the most, possible. If I mean the most charitable, it just hasn't had a chance to follow through yet. People are still getting shadow banned. People are still getting suspended. People are, all the same stuff that Twitter 1.0 had exists on Twitter 2.0. The only difference is Elon Musk handpicked about 7 or 8 accounts that he regularly replies to, and so he boosts quote unquote conservative accounts. You see, X remains committed to brand safety and continue to build more controls for advertisers. Today, we're thrilled to announce our extended partnership with Integral Ads. Integral Ads, can I read? To provide additional pre-bid brand safety and suitability solutions to help advertisers achieve their unique suitability needs. But that's not all. We're also encountering new capabilities, sensitivity settings, we just talked about, and enhanced block lists for advertisers. You see, wow, this is BS. So Twitter encourages people to buy Twitter Blue so you can monetize your account. Then they announce that they are creating sensitivity filters so advertisers can rig the system against people they don't like. Well, I've got to be honest with you. This is something that exists on literally every advertising platform. It probably exists on Rumble too. If you're going to sell advertising, you have to be able to give people a chance to say, I don't want my ad to appear next to the account. Even when I run my coffee brand coffee ads, for example, I don't do any sensitivity training. I don't care what the sensitivity of the video is. I care about the creator. So it's like if I ran ads on Donut Operator, for example, I know his videos are probably going to be, yellow, but I'm okay with that because I know I want to reach his audience. And so, smart advertisers will still advertise on spicy accounts as long as it's a positive ROI. That's just the way it is. But it is interesting that we're talking about, hate speech and all. The more that they look, I want X/Twitter to come back and get a lot of advertisers back. The more advertisers on Twitter, the more money my peers can make. Obviously, I don't really have Twitter as something that as a source of income for me. I use Rumble and YouTube and BitChute and Odyssey. I'm a video guy. People don't really want to watch my videos on YouTube. They don't go viral. Short videos go viral. And so, they're working. My concern is that obviously you're going to have a situation now where accounts have essentially a social credit score. And the question is, are we going to be demonetizing, deboosting people based on that? But then on the bright side, Twitter was fined $350,000 for missing a deadline to comply with a search warrant for records related to Donald Trump's account per newly unsealed opinion. DC Circuit affirmed section plus rejected Twitter's opposition to a non-disclosure order. So essentially, they were allegedly protecting Trump. Breaking Biden DOJ fines Elon Musk $350,000 after he refuses to give them access to Trump's Twitter account.
Roger who? Oh, hey, how you been?
Obama judge Beryl Howell held Twitter in contempt and imposed a six-figure fine for not turning over Trump's Twitter account to Biden's special counsel, so Jack Smith could look at Trump's deleted tweets. A Biden judge upheld Howell on appeal.
Yeah, I should be here till at least 5.
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting to me.
Can bring it tomorrow.
You know, the district court was issued a search warrant in a criminal case.
Or you can just, or you can just leave it here.
Acting appellant Twitter Inc. to produce information to the government related to Twitter's account, Donald Trump. The search warrant was served along with the NDA.
Yeah, I'm talking about during the day. I don't get
Twitter
there
from
till later
notifying anyone about the existence of the contents of the warrant. So they sent a warrant to Twitter.
Either way, or you can just bring it in. You can just bring it in with you and let them know. Hey,
and then
I didn't remove you completely, but I don't think because they,
not going to do that.
We haven't been
and then they said you can't even tell Trump
probably
that
don't have you on the
we
schedule,
had
but they could use you on
executed.
first shift.
That seems odd. It seems like you'd have to notice people, or you'd have to notify them that you gave access to their account to the government, right?
That's fine.
And this appeal
that's
argues
fine.
that the non-disclosure order violated the First Amendment.
Yeah, they could always send it. Well, they curry it over.
The district court should have stayed its enforcement of the search warrant until after Twitter's objections to the non-disclosure order were resolved.
Right, so just let us know if you want to. You can just text this number, let me know how it goes, or you can even take a picture of the note and send it to me.
So essentially, Twitter said, "Bro, we're not giving you access to this. We think it's a violation of your First Amendment right, his First Amendment rights." Twitter said no. You see, Matt Gates says the FBI pressures Twitter to censor the president's son's computer story. The DOJ rummages through Trump's Twitter account. You're supposed to believe they haven't taken sides. He also claims that is interference.
Okay.
I think it's very, very odd. I mean, these tweets are out there, right? Why would you need that?
Okay. Show me what they have.
I'm not exactly sure. These are his tweets are all public, right?
Not Best Buy or
something. Account obtained a search warrant for Trump's Twitter account. Okay. Jack Smith is checking Trump's DMs.
HP.
Very odd. Definitely very, very odd. I suppose in a court case of this magnitude, maybe, but
no. It has no
I don't support this. I don't support any of the prosecution.
128. I have more on my phone than
based on everything I've seen. Perhaps there's things I haven't seen. I don't live, on the internet watching or on watching mainstream media spin on everything, and it's going to be very, very odd to see this play out. But I do support them. I should point out they ultimately did cave and send it to him anyway. So. Moral victory, I guess, but they gave it to him anyway. So I don't know how to feel about it. X and Twitter is quickly becoming just another big tech thing, in my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
What's the price difference?
I mean, this one I'm showing you right now is like $20.
Paintball City said, I just bought my first.
Okay, show me the first one again.
For me and my mom to support your channel. We love
they're pretty much just using the browser anyway. I don't care about
38 new first-time customers today too. That's awesome. Hopefully, I can get to 100.
Man, what do you have? Hairspray on your damn lens?
Hopefully, I can get to 100.
Okay.
We've got so much news left too. It's wild to me that they would go. I mean, I guess I'm not surprised.
I would go with the other one.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah. Although that one looks nicer.
I'm not surprised at all.
Does it come with a monitor too?
That.
But you have monitors, so yeah.
They would go after Trump's DMs, so to speak.
Yeah, I would go with that one. As much as I hate HPs, I mean, I really wish
I would see. I would like if I was suing somebody and I thought that there were communications going on in their
DMs.
DMs.
Best Buy in Fremont?
I'm not sure that I'm not sure that
Huh?
I'm pretty sure that I would say
Out of
hey,
those
what's
two,
going on with this, you know?
the second one is the best.
Okay.
But you know how I feel about HP. So,
The clear said it says
but this
Elon
was
is
not
fake
my
like the
choice.
rest. You'll
So
not
this
get
was
rich
the
without
choice
being a
between two
bitch.
evils.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
And I get it. It sucks.
You're not going
Now, as far as
you're
setting
not
them
going to
up,
make a bunch of money on Twitter if you're not a part of the establishment. I mean, they paid Benny Johnson
I'd have plenty of time if I was
$5,000 last month to steal other people's memes and to post
and
clips
the
of other
stuff,
people's
the
videos.
equipment ships. I'm hoping I'll have it
But
by
Benny Johnson is an
today or
establishment guy.
tomorrow in time to
You
go
know?
to Pittsburgh Friday.
I mean, he paid that clown Ian Miles Chong thousands of dollars.
Computers, do they?
No.
Now, I will
Console.
say, I thought somebody, I forget, somebody who
I mean, is there-
definitely isn't that also got a pretty good
not a
check
console
last
there,
month,
though?
too. Like I said, I'm happy overall. I'm very happy that there are people who can make a living. I don't care if it's on Twitter
Out of those choices,
or wherever. People can make a
Happy.
living for their work. I just wish there weren't so many scumbags.
I understand it's an
always,
emergency. So,
basically gaming the
All right.
system, you know?
All right, thank you, babe.
yeah, like,
All right, love you.
Oh, I am a hater. I fully admit I consume large quantities of haterade. Very large quantities. Tim got a check. Well, I thought Tim said he was naughty and he didn't do anything. I thought he didn't get a check because he was a naughty boy. The Gold Star Families thing is on my list as well. There's just a boatload of news. Wirebot Reddit, do we care? I mean, I think it's news, but I hate Reddit. Like with a fiery, white hot passion. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, I'm really glad to see such a nice crowd today. Almost 4,000 beautiful people out there. I live stream every single day from 12 to 2 right here.
Inception cast.
If you don't
yeah.
know what time that is in your time zone, I started an hour and a half ago and I finish in
I
about a half
thought
hour.
they did that introduction video yesterday for Monk Club. I
If
thought
you are
they were going to be starting back today. Apparently,
the stream,
I'm mistaken.
please, if you haven't already, create a Rumble account and click that follow button here. It's important to me that you take part in chat. As you guys can see, I don't know how other people are, okay? I don't want to put this on other people, right? But I interact with my chat. You know, I don't know if everyone else does what I do when it comes to chat, but I interact with chat and I really, really want you to have an account so you can actually, you know, take part in chat because I like hearing from you and not just people that do Rumble rants. I like to talk to everybody, you know, in the chat. And so create a Rumble account, right? And then click the follow button underneath the video, then hit this like button. Then if you want to, you don't have to, but
All right, I'm going to kill this.
Another great way to support me and my team, which is not just me, it's, you know, if you like the intros, the memesters.
Yeah, I got to have it. I can't read big shit like that while driving though.
Good video today. Do two of these Russell videos from today.
Tucker spoke to Devon Archer. He's Hunter Biden's business partner. He said Joe Biden knew about Hunter's business deals, and yet Joe Biden said he knew nothing. Corruption is a two-way street, baby. Who should we indict next? Hey, did you see that Tucker spoke to Devon Archer, Hunter Biden's business partner, who claims that Joe Biden knew about Hunter Biden's private business dealings? And you would think that maybe he would know. I mean, let me know in the comments. Do you think he knew? Do you think he was valuable? Do you think that Hunter Biden's text saying, hey, the big guy's here, he's sat in a chair, he's furious about this, are legit text messages? Do you think if you're Hunter Biden doing a deal with Ukrainian or Chinese businesses, you're going to mention and leverage your father's position as the VP to make those deals move more smoothly? Let me know in the comments in the chat. Let's have a look at the conversation between Tucker and Devon Archer and his crazy made-up moralistic Dickensian name and see what we think together.
Washington's not a money town. Right. You know, people aren't in business in Washington for the most part, and most people don't have business skills that I noticed in 30 years of living there. So really the business of Washington is selling access. That's what it looked like to me.
Yes.
Not just Hunter Biden, but like,
yeah, no,
that's
I
what
think
people
that's,
do.
I mean, I think that's one of the like core misconceptions. I mean, it seems like when understanding a regulatory environment means selling access at the end of the day.
Selling access is the business of Washington. This is a city built on lobbying, donations, finding loopholes, manipulation, knowing the law, manipulating the law, having a wife who regulates big tech companies and investing in big tech companies, finding ways to do things legally that should be illegal.
That's how I interpret it. And I think that's how most people in Wall Street, whether they admit it or not, interpret it.
It's been reported, and you have said that there were occasions when Joe Biden would call in with clients present on a speakerphone.
Right.
How many times do you think that happened?
I mean, over a 10-year partnership, I would, the number I'm going with is
20. Howdy.
That's probably
Good. I have a pay card for you.
So a lot.
Kind of record. Yeah, a lot.
Sure, that's what you're
So
thinking.
Joe
right?
Biden, who's very much
How
a
am I
product
gonna
of
get paid?
Washington, of course,
No,
must have known that he was calling in.
Don't try to activate
to
on
effectively
Friday, but it
business
should be good to
meeting.
go.
The
The
sun
money
was
should be there
happening.
Friday for the one day.
He must have understood that.
And then next week you'll get paid for all
that
of
was kind of what his son was selling.
Well, it's hard for me to
Oh, yeah.
speculate on that.
But like, I guess my question, just to keep it to the facts, Joe Biden, then the sitting vice president, knew that there were Hunter's business associates in the room.
Yeah, I think I can definitively say at particular dinners or meetings, he knew there were business associates, and or if I was there, I was a business associate too.
While Donald Trump fights for his freedom at this time, we're asked and invited to consider what the symbol of Washington represents. We're told it represents democracy, integrity, transparency, and ethical clarity. But if, as our man Devon there alleges,
much better
it's simply
commentator.
a town that grants
Almost
access,
an
a kind of
activist.
knocking shop, a brothel for access, a place where you lube and grease the wheels of commerce, well, what is Washington a symbol of really? And is what Donald Trump knew or didn't know or deliberately said or didn't deliberately say of less significance than the fact that the whole system is just a corrupt soft sell for the interests of the powerful? Now, the allegation is that Biden must have known. This revelation contradicts past comments made by the president, who said in 2019 that he never spoke with his son about business dealings. I suppose that is what you would say if you wanted to avoid controversy.
It's been reported, and I know that it is true, that the Hunter and his brother were very close to their dad.
Absolutely.
Which I think is great.
Yep.
I've got a lot of kids. I'm very close to them, talk to them every day.
Yeah.
Never called them on speaker during a business meeting. That's weird.
Yep. In the rear view, it's an abuse of soft power, I'd say.
An abuse of soft power.
So that's ultimately what's being alleged here, an abuse of soft power. While most of the media's eye
I just looked at the second one you sent me, man. That's hilarious.
Isn't it worth simultaneously considering the impact of these allegations, particularly when we know that the Hunter Biden laptop story was deliberately kept out of the press and social media to a degree with a collaboration of the CIA? As this story continues to unfold, doesn't it look more and more likely that at its heart is real, legitimate, destabilizing corruption? Last week, Hunter Biden appeared in court for charges related to tax crimes, and prosecutors alleged that he received over $600,000 from a Chinese Communist Party-backed company. I started a company in 2017 called Hudson West, Your Honor, and my partner was associated with a Chinese energy company called CFC, Hunter Biden said. When asked by the judge if he received $664,000 from the Chinese company, Hunter Biden said, "I believe so, yes, Your Honor." However, during a presidential debate in 2020, Joe Biden said, "My son has not made money in terms of this thing about what you are talking about, China."
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about What are you talking about? China.
Now, that was a confusing sentence, but I think at its heart was a denial of Hunter Biden making money from relationships with a Chinese commercial entity, which appears to have been the case. During the 2020 debate, Trump made numerous comments about Biden's alleged connection to China, including one moment where he said Hunter Biden makes millions of dollars from China.
China ate your lunch, Joe, and no wonder your son goes in and he takes out billions of dollars. Takes out billions of dollars to manage. He makes millions of dollars.
The problem is with the ongoing condemnation and attacks on Donald Trump is that he regularly is able to point to examples of corruption made by his opponents. The only way to ever oppose a figure like Donald Trump is by saying, look, we are not corrupt. What Donald Trump does is corrupt. What we do is by the book, is legit. Is it even worse than that, though? Is it even worse than the Biden administration being corrupt? There is deep systemic corruption. The very conditions that have allowed Trump to rise to this position of prominence continue to be committed, continue to be doubled down on. This won't be sufficiently and significantly reported on. You won't see Joe Biden saying, look, I was wrong. I have been involved in Hunter Biden's business dealings. I have made speakerphone calls during meetings. I was aware of these dealings. They'll just find a way of navigating and negotiating in the cracks of this story long enough for us to be deep into the election cycle and for another victory to be gleaned. Without the kind of honesty that dealings of this nature appear to demand, the legitimacy of everyone involved is questioned. All of this underscores Joe Biden's horrendous judgment in blending his son's business with his duties as vice president. Yeah, you can't blend those duties. Bit of vice presidency, bit of supporting Hunter Biden. Amos Hochstein, a senior energy official in the Obama administration, warned the vice president in 2015 that Russia-backed media were using Hunter's presence on the Burisma board to undermine the US anti-corruption message. The problem with all this corruption, go on, it undermines our anti-corruption message because it's corrupt. And that is a problem. Just lie about it. The following year, a top diplomat in Kiev, George Kent, was even more blunt in a message to state. Ukrainians, Mr. Kent said, heard one message from us and then saw another set of behavior with the family association with a known corrupt figure whose company was known for not playing by the rules in the oil, gas, sector. It's one thing to develop relationships in office that turn into business opportunities later, the way Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, did in the Middle East. It's another to leverage the office while in office to promote the family business. As Mr. Archer said, the advantage of the Biden brand is that legally people will be too intimidated to mess with them. This is another example of how the condemnation of Trump and Trump affiliates starts to look ridiculous when there are comparable events within the Biden administration. What there should be, it seems, is a thorough investigation, and perhaps Hunter Biden's trial is precisely that, into what exactly has gone on between the Biden family and all these energy companies. This is no longer a salacious scandal about a man's behavior while under the influence of addiction. This is deep institutional financial corruption involving a vice president who claims that he is the new figurehead for a brave and bold new government. But really, this is the kind of corruption that we're all used to, isn't it? Whether or not Joe Biden took a dime from these dealings, this is a form of political corruption. Covered up by the press in 2020,
Andrew.
it will be an issue in 2024. Democrats should worry that as
Welcome.
more facts emerge about the Biden mix of politics and business, it could help
Right,
Mr.
in the
Trump
middle of
neutralize
structure,
his
so-
many legal vulnerabilities. That's precisely what is happening, is that the charges, allegations, and attempts to indict Trump seem less significant and legitimate in light of this information.
Dear Devin, I apologize for not getting a chance to talk to you at the luncheon yesterday. I was having trouble getting away from hosting President Who. I hope I get a chance to see you again soon with Hunter. I hope you enjoyed lunch. Thanks for coming. Sincerely, Joseph R. Biden Jr. P.S. Handwritten, happy you guys are together. This is not a criticism of you. I would think as a business guy, you use to every advantage. These are not business guys. This is the vice president of the United States. He's
Right.
not allowed to be working on businesses with foreign governments while he's vice president. I don't think.
Not that I know of.
But here he is.
Right.
Amazing.
Joe Biden's official position is that he's had nothing at all to do with Hunter Biden's business dealings. That Hunter Biden is like some sort of plucky street urchin who's made it in the wild world of Ukrainian mineral energies and gas and Chinese business just as a sort of coincidence. Like, my God, I was just being vice president over here. Meanwhile, over there, what's Hunter doing? He's becoming an international business person. So there's no connection between those two facts. Here's Hunter Biden's business partner producing a letter from Joe Biden saying, oh, sorry, I couldn't get away from President Who because I'm the vice president and I'm probably supposed to be engaged in protecting America American national security rather than dabbling in Hunter's business dealings. Can you see that even if they can't demonstrate that Joe Biden financially benefited from the situation, it's pretty plain that he was involved. It's pretty plain that at very least there's nepotism. It's pretty plain that at least he was using his position as vice president to advantage Hunter Biden. In a way, I could get myself into a state where I don't care about that. Where I'm like, oh, well, this is the world, isn't it? I mean, I do stuff for my kids. I'd probably offer advantages to my children over some stranger's children. But guess what? I'm not the vice president of the United States, and I'm not denying that happened, and we're not in the middle of a great and glorious fiasco where Donald Trump is supposed to be indicted, 1, because of his relationship with Stormy Daniels, 2, because of some financial corruption issues, taking those boxes, 3, because of inciting an insurrection inside his mind. We can prove he did it inside his mind. What I'm saying is that no one has a fortress of moral authority or a pulpit from which to address us as people and say, listen, this guy's corrupt, we're not corrupt, I would never do anything like that, because plainly that is the business of Washington. That's the way it operates. It's only bad when your opponents do it. It's normal, ordinary, and to be accepted if it's within the Pelosi family or within the Biden family, presumably within the Clinton and Obama families. What we're offering you is an alternative vision, a different line of questioning. It's the behaviors themselves that are a problem. It's the principles themselves that have gone awry. Forget your relationship with either party or either side and ask yourself, what do you believe in? How should America be run? Is this the kind of president you want? Is he meaningfully better than an alternative candidate that you are supposed to despise? Or is he, in fact, much worse?
So it's enough to be sitting in a meal at Lake Como with your new Ukrainian friends, and while your dad happens to call, let's put him on speaker.
That would be that's I think that's enough.
It's possible that Joe Biden thought he was calling someone else. Hello? Hello? Where's my pizza? This is Burisma. Okay, but just add pepperoni.
There was constant pressure to send signals, to leverage all of his, his dad included, but the Biden brand, all of the, the DC insider and relationships to help Burisma survive. That ability to help on the geopolitical stage, keep them out of trouble, keep them out of investigations, unfreeze assets.
If that litany of advantages that come with Hunter Biden's name are to be believed, then it's not an appointment that's based on Hunter Biden's business prowess, instincts, and insights. It's a very real set of advantages that come with having Hunter Biden involved in Burisma there in Ukraine. It's not like, oh, we're bringing Hunter Biden onto the board. And did you know that Joe Biden's actually his dad? It's like, we're getting this guy because Joe Biden's his dad so that we can unfreeze assets, so that we can avoid investigation. This is not an appointment where his relationship to Joe Biden is inadvertent. His relationship to Joe Biden is essential. That means the whole system's corrupt, right?
They were not consulting him on like pipeline construction or wellhead design.
No.
We need to construct some pipeline. Well, I've constructed this one. It's pretty good. Okay, no, maybe we can use that. Good work, Hunter. But also, could you get your dad on the phone? He's already on the phone. Hunter, why are you not speaking? I'm busy.
It was, hiring lobbyists and law firms to and various like NGOs to, help clear the path from regulatory roadblocks at the end of the day.
This is what we all believe, isn't it? With the Melinda Gates Foundation, with the Clinton Foundation, that all of this stuff that's dressed up as philanthropy is either tax evasion and avoidance, or it's ways of legitimizing connections or exerting influence that will later play out financially. Oh, we think that you guys should use these medications. Buy up a load of stocks in those medications. You don't need to use those anymore. We've seen this again and again and again. The problem comes when a political figure claims that they're different. The problem comes when there's actual criminality, tax evasion, tax fraud, payments that are being made plainly for influence rather than expertise.
The reaction to what you've said in public, to what you said to the committee on the Hill, and doubtless to what you've been telling us in this interview, is that like there's no corruption here at all. This is totally normal. Joe Biden had no role whatsoever in his son's business or knowledge of it. But
right.
That seems false.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that's categorically false. I think that he was aware of Hunter's business. He met with Hunter's business partners. You found a letter that illustrates that he knew me.
And he's thanking you. He's thanking you for his efforts.
So I think that was, I think
your efforts. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's a that's not factually right.
Whether or not Devon Archer's claims lead to a kind of legal indictment or proof of corruption, in my view, they're not nothing, are they? When you consider that so far what Biden's spokespeople have offered is, oh, this is just a bunch of kerfuffle and claptrap and balderdash coughed up by the Republican Party as a distraction, nitpicking, just an attempt to bring down a good and honest man of integrity. That plainly isn't the case. Sooner or later, Biden's going to have to give a speech, isn't he? Where he goes, look, I know I said that I had no dealings at all, but I did come on speakerphone. I did have direct dealings with Devon Archer. I did create at least the impression that I was an ally and supporter of my son that enabled him to get jobs with companies he wouldn't otherwise have got, with the assumption that he could leverage his relationship with me to ensure that meaningful advantages could be leveraged by Burisma when it comes to things like unfreezing assets and avoiding investigation. Seems to me these are pretty significant claims and significant charges, added to which Ukraine finds itself the center of a geopolitical disaster that's costing the American people billions by the day. It seems that what's needed is a reckoning, an investigation, and a conversation. Our precious institutions of democracy are being attacked. That's where Hunter Biden gets all of his deals done. That's where Nancy Pelosi and Paul Pelosi never talk to each other about what stocks and shares to trade. When the system is as corrupt as it is, how can you bring down a political opponent on the basis of their own corruption? They haven't got a leg to stand on, have they? But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the chat. Until next time, stay free.
Welcome back to Open Government Investigations. Today's video is brought to us by Freedom to Film's channel and takes place in Mishawaka, Indiana, and features a retaliatory arrest made by Deputy Thompson of the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office. Freedom to Film decided to exercise his guaranteed rights to document matters of public interest regarding government affairs while also exercising his First Amendment right to freedom of the press. Freedom to Film documents all the signs and notices posted on the exterior of the city's government complex.
No skateboarding on premises.
No signs can be seen limiting the access of the parking lot to specific personnel only, nor are there any no trespassing signs posted. In fact, this parking lot is one of the main public parking lots of the complex.
Huh. You should not enter the courthouse if you have been directed to quarantine. Hold on. Been directed to quarantine, isolate, or self-monitor at home for the beer flu. Per court order, no cell phones or electronic devices allowed in this building. This order is strictly enforced, except for employees. Employees are allowed to have their electronic devices in here. Face covering required. Yeah, employees are exempt from that unlawful policy. St. Joseph County, established 1830. No smoking, no phones, no hats, hoods, no food, no drink, and no weapons. St. Joseph County Department of Health. Business hours. 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Handicap. No parking. Municipal vehicles only. St. Joseph County and assessor. Got the phone number on there. Municipal plate. It's like they're living in their vehicle. County Services Building. Came back. I've been spotted. Sitting on a job. Stop. Emergency exit only. Another. No cell phones in the building.
Where's this at?
Notice, by entering this building, you consent to a search of your person and or possessions. Weapons are prohibited. Cameras and recorders are restricted. Violators will be prosecuted. Please use parking lot and rear. All right. Well, they really need to clean these windows. Quite filthy with cobwebs. Some kind of tower.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at, Chopper.
Some more reserved parking. First choice salvage and towing. No parking reserved. Off to a good start. No parking, no parking reserved for special people.
Deputy Thomas now approaches freedom to film, and the following incident ensues. Let me know in the comments section below what your opinion is on how Deputy Thomas handled this situation.
I can take pictures of anything I can see in public. I'm sorry?
Threat to our employees?
I'm
Are
sorry?
you a threat to our employees?
You're a threat to me.
No,
Get
you're-
away from me.
No, why don't you get off the property? Okay?
I am not doing
Get
anything
off
against
of
the
our
law.
property.
I am not doing anything against the law.
Basement tower, Officer Thompson.
I'm not doing anything against the law.
It's in Mishawaka PD this way.
Hi.
Okay.
Okay. Good to meet you. How you doing? Good.
How am I trespassing? I have to commit a crime. I have to commit a crime.
What shift were you looking at?
How? I can't. A camera's a threat?
There isn't a midnight, but there is days. In fact, that's where the greatest need is right now.
It's called the First Amendment.
The actual building is over.
You might want to get a supervisor here before you mess things up.
The property before the Mishawaka PD get here, you're going to be arrested. You understand?
So this is public property.
No, it's not.
It isn't? Who pays for county property?
Middle of a meeting at the same time.
All right.
I'm going. I'm backing up. I'm backing up.
You just made your decision.
I'm backing up. I'm backing up. I'm backing up.
Yeah, guess what?
I'm getting arrested,
Not fast
everybody.
enough. Not fast enough.
I'm backing up. I'm walking backwards. How am I supposed to see where I'm going if I'm... Ow! Ow! Help! Help! Ow! Help! 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 Help!
Contact information for the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Office will be listed below in the description of this video, along with a link to Freedom to Film's channel. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on Facebook, please make sure you follow our page, and don't forget
Welcome on a filthy Tuesday. How are you, folks? I'm really not here right now. As you know, I fly all over the place to make money, and I work really hard. I'm going to air a great interview I did with Antics, who you know is a real shit stirrer. And we did this back in March, probably before you guys signed up
during COVID, and the wife was like,
it's really worth watching. So here it is.
Hey, great show today. I'm excited you're joining me. I have a great guest. You may know his work from the internet. He is famous for disrupting political meetings at the local level, the city level, and he's not afraid to go anywhere. I think AOC is trying to sue him. He's really funny. He's on the blaze, and he should be. Please welcome my buddy Alex Stein. Alex Stein is an American right-wing YouTuber. That's how they describe it, Alex. And he's known for disrupting local government meetings and confronting people face-to-face. And I friggin' love his work. I see him all the time on the internet. And Alex, first of all, thank you for doing this. I watch you and I go, this is what we should all be doing. He shouldn't be the exception. It should be more people like, you know, the angry moms, school moms that came out and pressed those school boards. There should be more of this face to face. Scare the bejesus out of these assholes. Are you with me?
Nick, I was selling cars 3 years ago like a grease monkey. I'm telling you, I'd have Raul's, all these Hispanic guys used to come in and say, oh, this Z71 truck has a leak, senor. I would say, oh, it doesn't. And I would have to get under the car in my sport coat on the hot asphalt, 120 degrees in the Texas sun, and it would be leaking oil. They were 100% right, and I'd have to give them a discount. But my point being is, anybody, you can go from selling cars and getting yelled at by Mexicans on the daily to going and confronting these politicians because they're all egomaniacs. And as soon as any autistic person like myself with a camera gets in their face, they melt like room temperature butter.
Did you say artistic or autistic?
Both. I think I'm both. I'm not really autistic. Honestly, I was dropped on my head. I think that's all it takes, though.
Yeah.
I swear, Nick, that's all it takes, a little bit of autism and then some willpower.
I'm telling you, I fell off the bassinet and I was on the spectrum. About a year later, they told me. Fucking dad pushed me off, but that's another story. Yes, I'm not good at that. Some of my comedian friends, Jimmy Florentine, would go into a restaurant. You've probably seen his work.
Yeah, of course. Jim's a beast. Yeah.
Yeah. And he would go into a fucking restaurant and ask for Parmesan, a black pepper, And you know, the lady starts doing that, and you're supposed to go, "That's enough," and he wouldn't say anything. And when the guy would stop, he'd go, "No, I want some more." With that, "No, I want some more." And you can't see his meal. And the guy goes, "No, I want some more." That shit makes me uncomfortable. Who's the biggest? I've seen clips of you. Right in the middle, like on a college campus, haven't I? Surrounded by angry.
Yeah, no, I know. I go in front of all the Antifa, but real quick, let's go back to Jim Florentine. First of all, I'm not surprised he likes a lot of pepper.
Yeah.
The guy used to bang Robin Quivers, and God bless his soul, Jimmy's one of the best comedians. Trust me, Robin Quivers, that's a ton of black pepper, if you know what I mean. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm going for these Antifas. So now because I've been viral, I get to
most of the time it's
you know this as a comedian. I don't want to sit here and kiss your derriere the whole time, but you can go back and hear somebody's day when Artie was on Howard. And then, you know, you were obviously on the show all the time, regular guest, but he would always say that you had to carry the, you know, Killers of Comedy show. You were the one pro, even though I'm friends with Shuley, I'm friends with everybody else, and they'd be like, thank God we have Nick DiPaolo, he's the best comedian. So you're a real deal professional comedian. You know, you are the essence or the quintessential, excuse me, what I'm saying. Me, though, there's a new form of comedy, though, I think that's making people popular on TikTok and all this stuff, where all you got to do is confront important people, and people love that content.
You confront important people, or you can do it. I'm trying to do to get followers. I tossed a 2-year-old girl off my roof into a dumpster in my driveway. We were rebuilding my kitchen.
14 to start,
and people love that.
There is
We don't know where she is, but boy,
I
like
think it's
11
better to get
likes.
thrown off a roof, Nick, than to get transgender. Now all these 2-year-olds are giving him gender hormone therapy. If I was a 2-year-old, throw me in a pool off a roof before you cut my wiener off. That's all I'm saying.
They're wanting them.
Alex, let me ask you this. Go back to that original story. The Mexicans were the customers in that story?
Yeah, are you kidding me? I sold cheap cars. I was a wholesale car dealer. I look at I stack them deep, sell them cheap. There's a seat for every ass. I'm telling you, I sold a Honda Odyssey. I sold a Chevy Tahoe, Chevy Suburban. I'm in Dallas, Texas. All of my customers, they can't go to a traditional car lot and get any sort of credit. So I'm a pimp on a blend. You got money in the bank, shorty, what you drank? I'm going to put you in a car. But yeah, but selling cars sucks, Nick. It just sucks. I don't ever want to go back to it.
Yeah, but it was just funny. They love
Right,
that
no,
shit.
I understand.
And they just.
Are you kidding?
I can tell you this place rewards folks
The
that
Mexican, they always love this
honestly, I
shit.
never thought I'd be in
And
the
the
position I am
Silverado.
to
What
do
is
it
that?
from my background, but
That's Chevy.
I
Chevy
like
Silverado,
working with
GMC Sierra. I drive a Chevy Silverado.
Yeah,
It's
you
a
can,
great truck.
you can hold like 4 Mexican families, right?
Dude, I'm telling you though, these
Spectrum
Mexicans here in
Foods,
America,
I work
and this
for
is I'm not
Spectrum,
anti-immigration,
No,
but this is what
one of the
bugs me though, Nick, is they would always go viral. They show 11 immigrants in front of Kamala Harris's house, and the media is like,
I've had a 15-year relationship.
I'm in Texas every day.
Like the way they treat people. I mean, there's other companies here in Monroe that have
I
come to
see
me and
Hispanics
asked me to
with
hire for them.
masks,
and
little
they
kids
can't even
with an
pass
adult
an
guy.
insurance
I
company.
mean, you can just tell that, like, you know, I like to joke around, but
They
something
kill
weird is going on. This guy is not their biological family. I see it every
Is that guy
day.
is that
So
guy
that's
Bernie
what
Sanders?
really scares me. Is what are these kids doing for money? How are they earning their keep?
3:30 p.m.
Is that guy Bernie
Second
Sanders?
shift goes from 3:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. There is no third. They do like a sanitation.
What about Bernie? He's insane. What about
I'm
Bernie?
saying,
He's
is
my
that the
favorite
guy? Is
socialist.
that the
Yeah.
guy? I think the moment has passed. I said, is
Wait,
that,
Nick, I didn't hear you, but do you know this, Nick? You know another thing about President? I've said, you know, I'm suing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for blocking
They're as
me
busy
on
as they've ever
Twitter
been.
right now, Nick. But believe it or not,
I had a little bit of a
that?
slowdown
how is
last
she blocking you on Twitter?
early
Why?
spring, late winter.
I called her a big booty Latina.
Oh,
So my
yeah.
biggest video. Yeah, that was my biggest video.
A lot of the food products,
What
they do have potato products in
I've
it.
called her a filthy twat. Nothing
They've
happened.
resolved
That
that.
shows you I'm not. I'm not
Her
Very
face, and
busy.
her boyfriend was right.
Oh,
her
you
boyfriend
know
was right there.
on the steps. Yes. Yeah. Where were you? The Capitol?
I was on the Capitol steps. I said, "You're my favorite big booty Latina," and she went and made 17 Instagram videos about how I was the worst freaking sexual harasser since. I don't even know who the most famous raper is, but I mean, she literally.
You're looking at him
like she was sexually abused.
You're looking at him. I think we have a delay. When I talk, he can't hear me. I don't think.
There's a little delay. There's a little
all
delay
right.
for some reason, Nick. It's like quick. I gotta shut up. Stop stepping over you. Sorry.
No, you said you don't know who the most famous rapist is, and I said you're looking at him.
Okay, Nick. So tell me this though, and I know you can only say so much stuff though, but dude, you're blowing up. So now you got this new thing with Crowder. You know, I work at the Blaze, and the reason why I bring this up, a lot of people like, and the Blaze loves Steven. They actually still love Steven. He hasn't really gone after them at all. Right. And they say, "Oh, Alex, you're the the dollar store version," which I kind of am now that I'm still in the Blaze. I mean, a little bit. I'm not. I mean, I'm not as accomplished as him. So tell me, what's the future though? That's badass. Congratulations. That looks like it's gonna be a good deal.
I think it's going to be great. He's got me picking him up at the airport and getting his coffee in the morning. And I'm sort of like Fredo. I got to bring the suitcase of money from to Dallas. And yeah, I am excited. Look, he is a force. And you know, like you said, he was on the Blaze and we always stay in touch. Like I've done a show quite a few times. But we text back and forth, and he just loves my stand-up. He just praises me as a stand-up, and I watch his show and I go, Jesus Christ, I think I'm going to pull mine off the air. No, he's got so much. He puts so much into it. I do it, because I still do stand-up. But I would challenge anybody to put up a show that gives you more content and news. I mean, I was there when I was at a studio and he had Ted Cruz on, and literally I hear this conversation, Alex, I hear this, Steven's on the phone and they're going, no, his
Monroe. Yeah, it's part of the Ohio region, but it would be the Monroe. The Monroe office.
Ted Cruz grabs the phone from one of his guys and said, I'll be there. And told his handlers we can make it. And I'm going, what the fuck? I can't get my fucking wife on my own show.
Dude, he's got pull. No, I mean, Crowder's got the biggest pull. He's got a real big audience. So, and listen, no, but this is the thing, Nick, is Crowder's smart too. He sees those old clips. There's been a resurgence now with all the Opie and Anthony stuff where you and Patrice, that stuff is really kind of legendary content. It will never be recreated. Some of those battles, I guess you'd call it. Nobody can recreate that. I think he wants to. We're all kind of nostalgically want that.
That's a great point. Boys and girls, in the second half of the show, I will continue my interview with the great Alex Stein. And if you want to see that, exclusively on Mug Club. So join now to get it at Nick Dip.
Just make sure it's something you'll remember because you'll be using that to make your pay stubs and stuff like that afterwards.
T-shirts, hoodies, and more. It's yet another way for you to support the show and look sexy at the same time. You can also get signed copies of my previous specials and all of the Nicka shirts. Just go to nickdip.com and click on store. Again, that's nickdip.com. Click on store. Thank you guys so much. See you soon. By the way, we're talking to comedian Alex Stein. That's a great point. This is what shocks me, Alex. I'll do stand-up. I was doing something out in Arizona, and I had about 6, 7, it was like 8 Latino kids, I would say ages 18 to maybe 28, and all related, all kids. No, they were all friends and shit. They come up to me and go, "We found you on YouTube. That show, Tough Crowd." I was going, "Holy shit!" And they're like, "Why can't you do that today?" I mean, that Colin Quinn's a genius. He should be the household name. He saw that shit way before, and we could never do it today. Obviously, Patrice is gone and Geraldo's gone. But I mean, people, that made me so inspired that young kids are paying attention and that they're craving some of that freedom of speech that we used to have, right?
No, Nick, that you're blowing up. I'm just telling you, like that, all that old content. I call it old. It's only like 10 years old or whatever, but it seems old. I'm just saying because it's not fresh. That stuff was actual cutting edge. Now all this Hollywood produced crap, dude. You can't even find a good show. I'm telling you, Nick, when's the last time you watched a good show or funny show? Because now we're so worried about being politically correct. Comedy's dead. I mean, literally, you're considered probably alt-right, Nick, and I don't think of you like that one bit at all because you commented on race before. That doesn't make you a racist. Like, give me a break.
I commentated on race, but I was honest about it. And you're right. This was something I want to put on my resume. My manager told me about a year ago, sent me an article. They did a study at Harvard of right-wing comics, and I was on the alt-right list. I was so proud of that. I've had I've had the Oath Keepers, I've had the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers come to my show.
Of course.
And what, I'm not going to take a picture with them? Fuck you. I want to make an improv group with those guys.
No, I mean, I'm
we need
I let Carrie know. And
no, but those guys are, you can't fuck with those guys, Nick. Those Proud Boys are serious guys, and I love them, but they came out of a necessary thing because Antifa were attacking Gavin, so it's crazy.
That's right. And I love Gavin McGinnis, and you're goddamn right, man. Enough is enough.
Like I said, as soon as I know, I mean, it's looking like Monday, so
and,
I would shoot
you know,
for that,
Biden and all the whole China mess and all the stuff that's coming out. And now I'm getting a little bit political, a little bit serious, but don't you think that plays right into the demo? Everything I read, Alex, every poll in the last 6 months says the Democrats don't want him to run again. So this is what they want, right? They're not going to come save Joe. No.
Let me tell you this. Let me put on my tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. They're going to give him the old humiliation ritual because this is what they want. You know, they want the multicultural Black woman. They wanted Hillary to be president so bad.
Yes.
So I firmly believe that they're going to have to try to, because they can't convince him not to run because he's seen how they're going to do some sort of gimmick where he had all of these classified documents. Then he's ineligible to run, and I believe they'll actually make him step down. He'll say, "Oh well, my business dealings in the Ukraine and stuff. My son did some stuff. I'm going to step down, and we're going to put Kamala Harris." I have no doubt before 2024, before the election, Kamala Harris will be the president, in my opinion.
Do you? Oh, so you think? And I know people have that theory. I just think that she's so retarded. Even the Dems like
she's worse than him. Yeah, I mean, she's the only one worse than him.
I think the Dems know that. They go, "We can't have this cackling whore fill in, even for this idiot." I'm sure they said it in a different way. Sounds much nicer in Italian, as they said in Goodfellas. No, I agree. I don't think it's going to be here. Well, they would love that. You're right. But I don't think
she wouldn't be the nominee. It'd be Gavin. It'd be Gavin Newsom. You know, something like that.
Yeah, and I want to see Gavin Newsom with his record. I want to see him defend his. I could beat him in the first debate. I just hold.
He banged his best friend's wife when the guy when he was mayor of San Francisco.
That's the only thing I like about him. That's the only way I know
that he's a man. He's not one of these.
That's what I'm saying.
Like women, it likes to have sex.
That's what I'm saying. It's the first time I said maybe he is heterosexual. That fucking hairdo. He looks like he got off the back of a fucking. He always looks like he just got out of a convertible doing 80 miles an hour. I want to see him defend his record in California. You could just show clips of trains robbing trains. What is this, 1858 and fucking, and I saw that on 1883, that show that, you know, come on. So who else? You got him. They have no bench, right, Alex? They got Newsom, who I don't think I think he was recalled by I don't even believe in elections. Can I be honest, Alex? I really.
Of course. Yeah. How could you believe in election? Give me a freaking break.
Yeah. See, I think he got recalled, and they just pull the shenanigans they always pull. Do you remember
that? I believe this whole COVID agenda is they wanted freaking mail-in ballots. I'll go full tinfoil hat. Is they wanted full mail-in ballots. They were able to basically rig an election with only a few counties and a few states can rig an entire election. So it's like, guys, this is common sense. Listen, and this is the one thing that shocks me. For the people that are playing at home, go look at John Bolton talk about how January 6th was not a coup because he says, "Oh, I do real coups." Because they do coups in South America, Venezuela. They've rigged elections since the start. Nick, I bet you Bush was rigged. I bet you every election that we've had in the last 30 years are probably cooked the books.
Absolutely. I'm half Italian. I don't believe anything about anybody. That's how my father was.
Hey, I'm so crazy, Nick. I think Michelle Obama might be a boy. How about that one, Nick? I'm that crazy. I want to see a picture of her pregnant. That's how we'll go full tinfoil hat.
I'll show
That's
you
how crazy I am.
I'll show you a picture of her at the University of Texas sacking the quarterback for Oklahoma.
That's what I'm saying. She looks like she played for the Chicago Bears. She can play linebacker for them.
Mike Singletary would shit his pants if she came into the shower with that cock.
Mike Singletary would say that Michelle Obama was the best player as a coach. She gave the most effort. She was, brought her lunch pail to work every day. Didn't have the most talent, but worked the hardest.
Yeah, I just boy, is it interesting. Let's talk about what transpired this weekend, and Trump coming out on Truth Social saying, "I will be arrested on Tuesday." Are they gonna make him like do the perp walk, Alex? Are you gonna be there to jump in somebody's face? I was kind of hoping. Or you're busy with those two assholes behind you?
Well, I am a little busy, but honestly, I do want to go there. But I think they're going to pull some other January 6th thing, where it's like they get. And Alex Jones actually, kind of uncovered this a while ago with the World Trade Organization did this in Seattle, where they get agent provocateurs. It's like with the George Floyd riots. Yep. When you guys saw those AutoZone burn down, a lot of times they would look down, they would watch the replay of it, and it'd be like a white guy in a baklava mask type deal.
Yes.
So just saying, there's agent provocateurs or this Trump thing. They'll probably have FBI agents shoot people, and then they'll say it was some Proud Boy or something. So
no, you're
I don't even want to be 5 million miles away. I don't want to be anywhere near that deal.
I do. I want to see the inside of the DC jail. Anyways, no, that's actually a good point. We could be walking into another trap here, even though that was the first insurrection where nobody was charged with insurrection and one person died. It was a Trump fan.
Yeah, and they were able to reconvene and certify the election 2 hours later. Yet they compare that, Nick, to 9/11. You were in New York. Yeah. I mean, literally, imagine that they can compare the two. It's disgusting.
What an insult to people who lost people in 9/11 and the Civil War. Can you fucking imagine? One cop died, and he died 2 days later of a Brian Sicknick of a stroke. And there's Biden a couple weeks ago out there going, a handful of cops died. You lying motherless fuck.
Are you kidding? And then you look at Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman, they're giving him a tour through the Capitol. They wanted him in the rotunda. See, that's the problem. And like one of the big things that I'm against, and I'm sure you are too, Nick, this war in Ukraine. Like these people, we're not being run by human beings, Nick. We're being run by corporations like Raytheon, Halliburton, Pfizer. And because they can go and make us start a war in the drop of a hat, and every blue-haired checkmark is like, oh, for the Ukrainian flag, we gotta help Ukraine. Well, Russia's so bad. We fall for it hook, line, and sinker because these corporations, the only thing America produces, Nick, are bombs and guns. We gave all of our industry away. So, of course, we're going to continue to fight wars, and we're going to continue to give people medicine that they don't even need.
That's actually a good point. I need a decent mattress. I get it from China. When I get my guns here. Yeah.
My sex robot, China. You think America makes good sex robots? You're right.
I got one of those from China, broken a week.
Yeah,
I don't think I was using.
Dishwasher safe. Do not put it in the dishwasher.
I don't think I was using it right. Hey, for those of you on Mug Club, stick around for the second half of the show. Everyone else, go to nickdip.com and join to get my full show and Steven Crowder's full show and a lot more. Now back to me and Alex Stein. Nobody said you can't go from the back. Sing Anyway, those are her last words. So I was choking that rubber bitch out. Yeah, so I can't wait. I want to, and that's a great point. They could be setting us up for another. You're right. There'll be some of those guys with a buckle masks on, throwing shit. You'll have the fake guy with the Trump hat. What was his name? Ray Epps.
Ray Epps, yeah, the guy that told him to go in. And listen, Trump does not deserve to go to jail under any circumstance. But if Joe Biden has half a brain with all the illegal business dealings his son's doing, his butthole spread out on the internet, and that's the most likable part, he doesn't want to see another president get arrested.
That's right. No, that's exactly right. He should be out there going, look, come on, man. You know I hate the guy, but this is wrong.
Exactly. And could you imagine though if he actually did step in, if he had half the brain, his own party, that would be probably the moment they push the button. They say, well, you're done, Biden.
Can you imagine Alex there? So talking to Alex Stein, by the way, very funny. They are so afraid, and they should be, of Trump that they're gonna hope to put this fucking guy in jail so he can't run. That is, I mean, Putin would blush. Pick any socialist shithole. Stalin.
And Nick, but they'll say we're Putin apologists. Putin, he kills journalists. Putin's not great at all. But I'm just saying the corruption in this country. I don't even want to raise a kid in this world. I'm saying I have very little hope. It's called being blackpilled. I'm sure you're blackpilled. I lose hope. Comedy, listen to old Opie and Anthony clips, or that's the only way we can ever get any happiness is that nostalgia, because the direction that we're going. I'm not trying to be all negative, but it's hard to have any hope in our politicians, even when they do illegal stuff. The ones that are in the deep state get in no trouble. Yet you and me, if I did something, my buddy who went to January 6th facing 20 years in prison, they throw us away like we're just trash.
Yeah, the double stand. You'd never think you'd see it in this country. Are you going to tell me we always say half the country. The media obviously gives people the impression this country is way more liberal than it is. I've been doing stand-up for 35 years, traveling the country coast to coast. Honest to God, and I wasn't famous for most of those years, so I had a mix of people.
Yeah.
They didn't know who the fuck I was. I found out who they were 10 minutes into my set when I had a lady in her 60s giving me the finger and throwing a Heineken at me. What I'm saying is they, as far as my politics and shit, now people who like my politics come out to see me. But even when it wasn't my fans coming out and it was a mix of people who really didn't know me, I would talk to them after the show. And I never got the feeling that hardly any of them were Democrats until I got into show business and sat at the table, in New York with my buddies. And, and even then, I would say the thing at the table where everybody would go, Amy Schumer, that's an extreme example, but
well, and Chuck is your uncle, the worst guy in the world. I mean, give me a break.
I know what the fuck. Isn't he creepy? He's like out of he's just fucking gross. I'd fuck Amy before I talk to him. And she's gross.
Yeah, well, but
she's horrendous.
And then she got caught stealing the jokes. I mean, Amy's really just a mess. I don't know why she's got to be put up as this icon of comedy when there's so many people like you or people. Think about how many comedians you know this, and you've probably seen them. The Greg Giraldos. How many comedians, the Patricia O'Neills, that would be the biggest things now that we didn't even get to see. It kind of makes you think of abortion. I know that sounds weird, but that's why I don't like abortion necessarily, because there's all these great people I think get killed because oftentimes the best athletes, the most funny people come from broken homes. No, I swear, I just say that broken home that breeds awesomeness.
I look at it. See, I look at this the opposite. That's why I'm sort of pro-abortion. I go, good.
Well, no, but Nick, this is what Deion Sanders. Let me make this point. So Deion Sanders just said, he was talking about recruiting when he's the head coach of the Colorado, and he said, for my quarterback, I want a kid that comes from my home with the two parents and they're good kids and they, educated. Okay. For my defensive tackle, I want them to come from a broken home with no parents, the free lunch. And that's right. There's some sort of mentality where, nature versus nurture.
But even he has to fucking soften that. He's as black. And by the way, he hates white people to the core. I fucking met the guy. At my opinion, folks, I don't know, but look. I met him anyways at a Super Bowl. We played in the Beach Bowl, me and Artie Lang, and I wanted to fucking play offense. And he's like, no, man.
And he wouldn't let you? No, I met Deion one time too. He couldn't have been any bigger of an asshole.
Yeah, no, he's a nasty dude. But what he said, my point was, why couldn't he say I want a white quarterback and I want the fucking defensive lineman to be angry brothers? I mean, seriously, we're never gonna.
Yeah, I do that for you.
We keep talking about breaking the cycle of political correctness, and especially when it comes to race. Why? Even Joe Rogan, I fucking love Joe. I was watching UFC about a year ago, and I was surprised he said this. There was a black guy fighting a white guy, and he goes, whatever the black guy named, Tyrone Washington's in the green shorts, and Bill O'Leary's in the red shorts. He goes, why can't I just say the white guy's O'Leary and the black guy? He said it right on the air, and I was like, God damn it, I love it. I mean, when are we going to get over that, Alex? That's most of the political correctness stems from that and the feminist twats. But go ahead, your thoughts.
Well, of course, but you remember it wasn't very long ago. I keep on talking about the 90s movies like Don't Be a Menace in South Central or Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. There's all these like black movies that made fun of blackness, and it was great. Some of those scary movies, some of the Wayans brothers, say whatever you want about them. They made great stuff. But now those guys can't even make that comedy again because if you make fun of any black stereotype, Chinese stereotype, Hispanic stereotype, you're a racist.
They couldn't get away with it. I think they still would get away. What did I just see last night? What was I fucking watching? In the no, it wasn't the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I can't.
I love Real Housewives of Atlanta. What are you, the Nene and all the girls? What are you talking? It's a great show. The best show on TV, Nick.
Half of them can dunk. Fucking, I don't want to be pistol whipped in front of a fucking Bentley. It's my wet dream. What was I going to say? Fucking Alex, this is so fucking great.
Talk about the TV about how they can't be politically incorrect because listen, this is one thing. There's just real quick. I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but with my humor, I try to say the most absurd stuff while appearing like it's normal, right? And it's kind of absurd, and I feel like it's just a formulation for comedy.
The rest of it's just a
Stereotypes,
worksheet.
if
It
you
really
sleep with
doesn't do
any
anything. I don't even know why it's
stereotype,
attached.
that is funny comedy. I don't care if you say
blanks that-
colored
that-
people time
you
or
can put
whatever
whatever you want in
sort
there,
of
it doesn't
joke,
change
as long as it's
anything.
not done, in a mean way. People love that type of humor, but we're afraid to use it.
Hey, look, I've been one of the most, and not to blow my own horn, but I was pushing back against this shit on Tough Crowd, which was 2001 or 2000, 22 years ago. I was using the term cultural Marxist. What
You don't
other
have to put
comedians
your
was
license
even
number in there.
saying
Just
that?
put, yeah,
I was
just
reading a
put
lot of
today's date
fucking,
because it won't let us put a future date.
Come on, fucking, how can I forget this guy? Pat Buchanan. I was reading Buchanan. I read Judge Bork's book, Slouching Towards Gomorrah. That book,
Yeah, I've got already
Judge
got it
Bork's
set up.
book changed. It confirmed all these things in my head that I was seeing. Nobody was. Alex, in my 30-something years of doing stand-up, I think I've made maybe 4 or 5 black people mad. I'm not exaggerating, in the 30-something years. And I've had hundreds of white people get up 5 minutes or 20 minutes into my black people. Colin Quinn taught me this because he grew up in Brooklyn, went to a half black high school. They black people just want to know where you stand with them. He told me that with comedy, and even at the Comedy Cellar, that intimate place, it took some balls to be making
All right,
black
yeah.
jokes.
But once
in
it's
front
a
of
pending
table
review, it
with
just
6
means I have to do
black
my
dudes.
portion.
But you
You're
know
good.
what? They were laughing the
I'll be
hardest.
out there.
And when I
All
watched
right,
Colin
MC
Quinn, who is a
briefing.
master with race, he's
Some of this is kind of
he's
repetitive.
obsessed with it. He reads every book, every prison book, I don't mean it like that, folks. That came out right. I'm just saying he is obsessed with race. And he would walk down the street after Tough Crowd. Black people would mob him because they fucking loved him. Puerto Rican girls, you know what I mean? Dominicans from Tough Crowd. I watched him at the Comedy Cellar killing one night, doing all this black stuff that's really heady. And he goes like, one of my favorite jokes, he goes, yeah, if you're a white parent, he goes, I think you realize you fucked up when you come downstairs in the morning and your 16-year-old daughter is sharing a bowl of Fruity Pebbles with Rasheed Wallace.
Right.
Shit like that. And I'm watching the
Well,
black
that's-
table,
yeah,
and
it
they
is,
are
it is,
flipping
it
out
is.
because he
Yeah,
knows
right.
them better than they know themselves. And that's my bigger
Remember,
point.
right
is
now I'm a
that's the way it
resident
should
of
be. What a way to
Ohio, so
release
it's kind
racial
of
tension.
still pretty
It's not
strict
by
there, but
censoring and
they do have medical
tampering
there.
down. Remember Lenny Bruce came out and just said the N-word for like 10 minutes one night. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
And then he said, I made a point. He goes, I wanted to make a point. You become desensitized to it. The more you suppress it, the more dangerous it becomes. And, I'd like to see him try that today.
Yeah, right. No, but I want to make this last point, though. Yeah. And this is why I would never want to be considered racist. And we talk about the black crowd. I got to go back to my starts in the car business. When you sell a car to a white person, they're so annoying. They come back if any issue, you do not fix it right away. With black people, they were the most laid back. As long as you weren't ripping them off, as long as you were honest. I'm just saying, they could tell. As long as you're honest with them, they were the easiest people to work with. So I'm just saying, I love all races, colors, and creeds. We should be able to make fun of them. Nobody should be off limits.
Are you saying black people buy cars too?
Yeah, they do. They got the best credit. They buy it in their mother's name or their girlfriend's name. Yeah,
Well, we
they
actually offer them too.
cars.
But, I mean,
There's the line that would get me in all kinds of fucking hot water.
But yeah, of course.
It was fucking brilliant. Admit it, folks. All 3 is. Who's that?
I mean, if you need to just to bridge the gap until you do.
He used to be on Gutfeld. He'd come on Red Eye.
We offer it, and you just within your first 30 days, you need to pick
know who I'm
one of the
talking
2
about.
plans.
I know who it is.
Yeah.
Black professor.
Black professor. Yeah, young guy.
Yeah, I would
He was
opt out
on
on
with
ours.
me. We would go
It's not
back
worth
and
the
forth
money.
with race, but we had a good chemistry. Me and him were getting big laughs.
I just used the VA.
And I said, I think he said we should.
Well,
no,
the
I
VA
said we
has
should do a
co-pays
sitcom.
now.
And he goes, yeah, we'll call it. He goes, we'll call it The Racist and the Professor. I go, I'm not a professor. I said it quicker than that. Fucking left him stunned. That's because I was in fighting shape. I was in comedy clubs every night, and nobody quicker when I was in my fucking and he
No, you were the best. Nick, I'm not kissing your butt. You guys, I'm going to go clip it. I'm going to go find it. I heard it last night. Literally, Artie Lang says that Nick DiPaolo is the #1 comedian out right now, and Howard agrees.
Howard agrees. Was this back?
I'm pretty sure Howard agreed.
Recently?
Obviously.
Or was this 40 years ago?
Where's Howard gone? Let's make fun of Howard for a second. Why is he gone so far down?
Howard, oh my, what the Jesus. And I want to like him because he was so good to me. And but some fucking broad, that's what fucking therapy will do to you if you stay there long enough.
Yes.
It'll cut he had it all right. He had it all right before.
Yeah, well, that's with the break and lunch and stuff.
He grew up in Roosevelt, Long Island, surrounded by
5 days a week or something. Nick, who goes to psycho? I mean, is he in the Church of Scientology? It's like Tom Cruise or some shit with that.
New York Jews. That's who goes 5 days a week. Yeah, no, I got that from The Sopranos. Were you a big Sopranos fan, Alex?
Are you kidding? Tony Soprano was the king. Nobody, and I don't, honestly, I would say that James Gandolfini is probably the best actor of the 2000s. Hands down.
You could make that argument very easy. I'm talking to the great Alex Stein. Yeah, when he started going to therapy on the show, and somebody told his mother,
like the machine itself.
Yeah, was it Carmela going? Yeah, Olivia, your son's seen a shrink. Well, I think it was a young kid, AJ. And she goes to a psychologist. That's a racket for the Jews. Why?
That's not what show ever.
I know, and that's honest. And if we lived in a fucking world, a Jewish people, that's the only thing. And I love Jews. I defend them on the show, and I defend Israel. They're a lot of the political correctness sort of emanates from. They have to take themselves a little less serious. What, I can't make a few Hitler jokes. Come on, relax.
Well, you know,
that was a long time ago.
No, but Nick, I'm actually a fake Jew. My last name's Stein, so I actually wasn't. My grandfather ran away, got my grandmother pregnant, and started his own family. So I was actually raised Christian. My dad was raised Christian, so I'm a fake Jew. My point is, with all my Jewish friends, the ones that are they're either or. They're feast or famine. They're either cool or they're politically correct. It seems like that's always the position.
You're right. There's not much gray area. I was going German with that. I tell people German. Why?
No, that's what I mean. That's what I am. But they always say, "Oh, you're Stein." Of course, of course, you know. Nick. The same.
Let me give you my best Jewish jokes. The best one I ever came up with that I used in my act that probably cost me a lot of gigs. I think I moved out of LA right after I did it. My friends always go, Nick, why are you, my fans all know this joke, why are you so convinced that the Jews run Hollywood? And I go, you ever read the credits after sitcom? It's like Schindler's List. That might be the best fucking joke ever. And here's how I know it was good. About a month later, I did that at LA. I was living in LA at the Comedy Store. I did that not even a month later. They used a joke like that. They rewrote it a little, but it was on at Welling Break. And it makes sense because there's a comedian, a female comedian I know who's great. I'm not saying she's but she or somebody was in the audience that night because it was like 3 weeks later. I've seen
questions at all while you're going through that.
I've seen some of my bits in commercials. Me and Keith Robinson were arguing. He's talking about right. Go ahead.
Those guys sit in the back of comedy clubs forever. I mean, now they can look at TikTok and steal ideas. Yeah. But that's how they used to have to steal ideas before the internet. They would have to go in the clubs and steal from the headliners like yourself.
I was arguing with Keith Robinson, a black dude. He was arguing about black culture. He go, man, we built the pyramids. And I went, yeah, they were supposed to be square. And I saw that, this is a couple of years later, in an insurance commercial. They fucking do that joke about it. It's not, you're right. They sit in the back of clubs. And anyways, hey, I've kept you long enough, man. I want to see you. Don't stop what you're doing, Alex. Seriously,
yes,
man.
Sir.
We should be. I wish I had the balls. Crowder's another one. They go face to face. I'd rather be like a sniper and fucking. They have to find where I live. I was on the phone with the FBI twice.
You're the legend. Keep it up. No, you're literally a goat. So it's an honor just to let me come here and speak with you. I really mean that. And I want to talk to you again soon, hopefully.
I was gonna say, you got a huge show, right? Although. I think Beck might be a little scared of me, but yeah, I'll do your show.
On my show. I want you on my show.
All right.
Are you kidding? Please.
We'll
When's the next time you're doing Dallas? I want to have you in studio.
I'm going to Dallas April. I want to say 3rd, 4th, and 5th to do Crowder's show. That's sort of the first. I'm officially.
Oh, that's the first deal. That's your first week there. Okay, wow. That'd be huge.
Officially, I start the 10th because I'll be writing stuff behind the scenes too, a little bit here and there. Fucking old. I got 9 jobs. But yeah, I'll be I think April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So whatever. But either way,
I hate fucking planes. I'd rather do this. But you're welcome anytime, and I would love to do your show.
Yeah, you work more than a Haitian immigrant. You're the man, Nick. I love you. Keep it up.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it, brother.
See you guys.
All right. That is it for a Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed the interview. We thank Alex Stein again for doing that. And don't forget, you guys think it, I'll say it. You're very welcome. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.
Hi. Good night, everybody.
Still funny.
All 19 minutes.
Well, I took a picture of you. So if you do anything sketchy, I'll be sure to report.
We do have a cursor here. Okay. Interesting. Let's see if they make contact with me. Well, I don't answer questions. Everybody, I'm Man Audits, and we're out here in front of this Native Roots dispensary, out on a public sidewalk. Our goal, as always, is to peacefully exercise our rights to film in public from a public sidewalk. So we'll see what happens when we exercise our rights today. Address and information is going to be provided as always. Of course, this video is brought to you by channel memberships. Your support is appreciated. It does actually help to support the channel with travel expenses as well as with equipment and other things of that nature. So the support is appreciated. Just got to set my sign and flag down outside because I don't want to bring it all inside. See, just going to set it there. There's a camera there, so if anybody steals it, I'll know who it was. How's it going?
Good.
No problem. I'll try it. I guess I haven't tried this one yet. That's
Maybe-
fine.
Can we do it sideways?
No, I'll just do what I always do. I always just take this off.
I just didn't want to fall off, you know what I'm saying? You think he's gonna get weighted with this? I would, yeah, and I dropped down a little bit. Okay.
It kind of fixed my anxiety, I guess, because it's unknown.
Okay. Hold on, let me turn my radio down.
What?
I'm turning my radio down so I can hear you.
Like for the charge that I'm paying a fine on, I wasn't charged with any jail time for that.
Okay.
So I'm curious, like if I accidentally missed a payment,
would I be arrested for?
I'm not 100% certain. That's a good question to ask either the clerks over at the county window
Okay.
or asking the clerks over at the criminal
Okay.
window, because I don't want to give you the wrong information
Right,
and be
right.
like, well, Sean said this. I just
Hi, it's Norm with
Right,
Impact
right.
Employment.
No,
I was trying to
that's
reach
what- I
Michael.
respect that. So. But no, I was just
Hey,
curious
Michael,
because
looks like you're interested in the food production
kinda
position
worried
here in
about-
Monroe.
Because I think I owed it yesterday, possibly,
Okay,
but I'm gonna go pay it now.
What shift were you
Yeah, I
interested
just didn't want like something
Yeah,
bad
I
to
do.
happen.
I don't
When would you be available to come in?
I don't want to give you the wrong stuff.
Right, I
Your
appreciate
interview.
it.
Interview/orientation. That'd be perfect. Would 1 p.m. be good? All right. Do you know where the office is?
You can use the tables.
No, I'm actually over by the post office here in downtown. I'll shoot you the address. I'll
Oh, yeah,
text
that's
it to you. Yeah, I'll text it to you and then just tell you what you need to bring.
No worries.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow. It's a 10-hour shift, so it's 5 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So it's 4 days a week. Yeah. All right. It starts at 14, but they do have a $1 an hour.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I really do
That's
appreciate it. I see there's a dono.
Show up every day. To start
Let me
off.
catch up on
When you're
it.
showing up every day, you start off with 15. All right.
Good to see
All right. We'll see.
everyone.
Yep. Yep. I'll shoot you that info right away.
Blue, Lenny,
Yep.
Blue Skun, EJ, Lenny, John D, Claire, Wales, UK. I appreciate you. Mushroom. Who else is in here? Anna Banana. Good to see you. Mushroom, thanks for the 5. I really do appreciate that. I found the dono. Hey, engineer. Anthony. Good to see everyone. Zoom back. Rum Runner, good to see you. Shockproof, Karen M. What's up, hairstylist? I really do appreciate everyone. Just extending the tripod legs. We've got another BCNN affiliate outside. He's going to be watching over in the skies.
Lakes in Michigan. Hi.
Hey, I just had to pay a fine.
Okay. Let me get out of my.
No problem. And then I just had a question, I guess, about health care process. For the fine that I'm paying on, it wasn't like a jail charge. Like I only got prosecuted for fines.
Okay.
So I was wondering if I accidentally missed a payment at one time. Is that a jailable offense for? It isn't? Okay,
No,
because I had a little bit of anxiety because I think yesterday I owed it and I came in today because for sure, but I wanted to make sure
If you are on a payment plan, because I can see you're on a payment plan right now, and it was due yesterday. They give you like a couple of weeks of a grace period.
They do. Okay.
Yeah, you do. So, and even from there, and if you do fall off the plan, unless it's in your charge that it's something against your probation or something, even if you are on probation, but otherwise, the worst thing that's going to happen is you fall off your plan. They would hold your tags until it's paid off, or it could eventually go to the sheriff. You make a plan with them.
Yeah, thanks for explaining. I really did not know, and I'm like, because I know it's not. Because I assumed like what you're saying, there should have been something like maybe from the judge that said if you did fail to payment.
Right, and if there's nothing in there, then it's like I said, they'll put your tags until it's paid off. Or like if you go through the sheriff, or if it's a driving charge, eventually you could.
Right, exactly. Yep. Like for me, I know I was suspended because I didn't pay insurance, but at that time I didn't know that would take place instead of an accident. But that makes sense because it's technically a driving offense. If you don't pay that ticket, eventually you lose your license. So I just didn't know how it was for criminal charge, but not having jail time on that charge. just fine.
Right. So yeah, there would be.
But I'll just do another 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this just shows the balance on the one that I'm paying on. So then when that one gets paid down, we go to your next one. But if you want a total on that.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. Yeah, because I know there was like trespassing. So that's probably why there's two separate payments or two separate things that I'm paying on.
Right, exactly. So that one is the 334. The other one that you're still that one has 502. Let me give you a second. I can tell you this one's on this.
Okay.
So just the two, that one and then the one that's next after it's $836.50.
What was that? 836.
836.
That is Norman, the Impact Employment Solutions. For Coleman, register interest in food production position. I'll go and send you a message back through Indeed. Call back and set up an interview.
It just made me nervous. I'm like, oh no, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm going on here in the county. I didn't want to come into the courthouse and immediately be arrested at the metal detectors.
Oh, you're fine. You're
So,
fine.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You too. Wow, that went really well. Only if everybody was as cordial as her. ASWE Observer, Brandon Mitchell. Good to see everyone. Brandon, I thought you were a Greenwich. What's up, Randy? Yeah, she was lovely. Because yeah, I was. They're only nice when you pay them. I mean, that is their job to accept people's money. So I can't completely say that she was being only nice for that reason. I'd like to believe she did it just out of respect and not just because they were accepting my money. Oh, we are headed outside. So I did find out that there is a little bit of a grace period, I guess.
Nice to know.
Yep. And the only time, which I kind of thought, but I don't like to assume things unless I really know. But she said there would have to be something in writing, like by the judge. Like if you failed to miss a payment, then he could end up in
But
jail.
you would know
this
that
and
at the time when the judge signs it.
Exactly.
No, and if it's not known, obviously, when you said that there's a grace period.
And she said it's at least a couple weeks, and even that, you still may not even end up in jail. They may just cancel the payment plan, and you'll have to restart it through maybe the sheriff's office. There was a few different things. Yeah, it's not immediate arrest, because I told her I was nervous to come in because I didn't want to be arrested right at the metal detectors again. So I told her that causes me a little anxiety if I don't know something, because I don't know if I'm going to be arrested just going right into the courthouse.
But at least you got over there.
Yep,
Made
yep.
payment. Got your answer.
Got it out of the
Good
way.
to go?
Yeah, super nice about it.
Nice.
I loved it.
Yeah.
She was lovely.
Smooth and simple.
Yep, appreciate it.
No worries.
The pouch lands on the ground, it goes into an animal feed container.
All
Pretty good.
right, we'll get ready and get my stuff set up.
You got the one everybody misses correct. The blue brush one.
Okay. The question on the pants, I have, like a dark gray.
I'm just gonna be outside today with my blue.
Yeah, no,
line
that's fine.
flag, bullet
Yeah,
holes,
blue
and
jeans are
my
fine too.
sign.
Dicky type pants are fine. Slacks, yeah, as long as they're not shorts or sweats or
Thankfully, there's not much wind today.
plain white t-shirt and the steel toe or composite. Okay. All right. What did you want to do for your direct deposit?
I have a card, or,
Okay.
but I'm gonna be switching banks out here, but my.
Okay. Well, it's not, don't rush anyway on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an email that I have to do once we're done here.
I'm still good for now.
One of them will have a link for you to put in your own direct deposit. If that doesn't end up happening, I mean, if it comes down to it, we can issue a pay card at the last second. And then the other link on there will be for the insurance. So you can either pick one of the plans or opt out. It's up to you. When you click on the link, it's going to ask for the same user ID and password.
So that's why I'm glad.
Well, now you're good to go. When did you want to get started?
Is it possible to start Tuesday?
It's that one day. It's super.
That is the 15th. 15th. And you know where the location is?
You said it's right by,
Hall's Collision Center there.
Hall's Collision Center? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
The address is out there. It's the underlined address on top in the back of your sheet there. Very top.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So it's it too. The address is out front. It just doesn't say Vectrum up front.
Yeah,
So,
Vectrum.
and when you go in, you'll go in the
Yeah,
front door.
everyone, did you notice
make an
too,
immediate left.
how
There'll
when
be a buzzer to get
I went in there to
to the
pay that
store.
fine.
That takes you right into
I
the
didn't give her my name.
To the left is the men's
what
lockers.
case
To the
it
right,
was,
men's
anything.
lockers, and then
Who I was and everything.
just let me.
I pulled up my
They'll know your comments. I'm gonna let them know. Just say hey.
But that one woman, that Lori,
They'll
where
show
I
you
still don't know her
the
last
type of
name,
card. It's an old
wanted to
standard
try to
time
give me a
card.
hard
Put your name and put the
time
impact on it.
because she said I needed to tell her who I
They'll
was.
take you from there.
and that what my case
All right,
was.
man. If you have any questions that might come up, just shoot me a
No,
text and I'll
like-
reply as soon as I can.
All I told her was
You
my
too.
name because obviously you need a name. But then she asked what fine did I want to pay on? When there's a payment plan, it shows in the system and everything. She was just being rude, and then she wanted to get mad at me because she started the fight by being rude. Because I'm not rude to anybody until they're rude or disrespect me first. I am nice as can be to everybody, but once you disrespect me, especially a government employee, because you're supposed to be the most cordial and respectful people that we look up to. So as soon as you disrespect me,
it's gonna be
I'm
starting
gonna
soon.
disrespect you as immediately. Shit.
He's got a blue line flag. I wonder what his sign says. All right, let's get this ready. Yeah, he's a hell of a dude. Hell of a dude. No, got that. 340. We went from some years to 0 for a second. I think my internet's acting weird here. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Should be starting any second now. Oh, 2 minutes. Stop here for a second.
It's never a requirement. If you're only able to share, comment, subscribe, that's also appreciated.
And
Of course, I'm making sure I'm standing off to one side here. Okay, we're just gonna give this a little time. Sorry? I'm sorry?
What was that?
I didn't hear what you said.
What's going on?
I'm just out here on a public sidewalk.
I'm just curious why you're filming our building. And me.
Because I can.
Okay. Well, I took a picture of you. So if you do anything sketchy, I'll be sure to report.
Well, when filming is not a crime. Alrighty then. Well, he approached us, so we'll give it a little bit of time here. Well, let's stay put just in case anything happens here. So we're gonna stay here for a while just in case Beta Darren does anything else here. Interesting. I saw someone walking around in there. And he is talking to somebody, it looks like. So I don't know if that's the Popo or if that's somebody else. So we're staying put. So I don't know how he defines sketchy, but we'll see what happens here. He works there too, or maybe he just was going in. Either way, I thought he went over to the McDonald's over here, but I don't know. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes since Beta Darren approached me.
The White Pill is available now at whitepillbook.com. This episode is brought to you by Patriot Gold. Good afternoon, Michael Malice here. Let that be your welcome for the next hour. It's not that often that on the show we have historical figures, but this one is going to be a doozy. Jake Angeli is out of the gulag. There's a lot of misinformation about you out there. The most common name for you, and I purposely did as little homework as possible because there's so much misinformation about you in the media. I wanted to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. The most common nickname people have for you is the QAnon Shaman. I'm going to ask you about that in a second. The first question I want to ask you is, how does it feel knowing that kids are going to see your picture in their textbooks like in another 20, 30, 40 years because you have become, for better or worse, the visual symbol of January 6th?
Well, I'd like to hope and think and believe that I've more so become a visual symbol for freedom.
Yeah.
That's what the message I've gotten for a lot of people, that it's like an icon for freedom. There's people all over the world that have, in other countries that have dressed up the way that I was dressed. One guy was in Italy, another guy was in Brazil, another guy was in Russia. There's a lot of people here in the United States that have dressed up that way. There's people that have dressed up as me for Halloween. So, it's flattering. I'm trying to stay humble about it, though.
Where did you get that headdress? Is it real buffalo head?
Oh, well, it's coyote skin and coyote tails. The horns, as far as I know, are not authentic.
Oh, these are right here on my chair.
Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, that's an awesome chair.
Yeah.
I got it over 10 years ago. I believe I got it on eBay. And I've been wearing it for over 10 years. So the way that people saw me dressed on January 6th is the way that I've been dressing for over 10 years. It had, it was not anything that I wasn't already doing. A lot of people thought I just did it for that day, and that's nothing could be further from the truth.
So let's break down that nickname that the media gave you. Are you or have you ever been affiliated in any way with QAnon?
Well, first of all, QAnon is a fiction that was created by the Operation Mockingbird Media. There's Q, and then there's the QAnons. And then there's the Anons. And then so the media created QAnon, because they combined Q and then the Anons, the community of people that followed Q. And the reason why they did this is because as they reported on QAnon, they created a bunch of stories in the media and in search engines, essentially, that when people began to look up QAnon, all they would find is the media's false narrative regarding the Anons and Q. If instead they were talking about Q over and over and over again, asking who is Q, what is Q, etc., then people would then start following the Q drops, which the media does not want them to do. So what they did is what we're witnessing here is one psyop versus another.
Yeah.
And you have the Operation Mockingbird media psyop that is based on division, it's based on subversion, it's based on control and things like MK Ultra mind control. And then on the other side, what you have is the Q psyop, which it is a psychological operation. But the Q psyop is more so based on deprogramming or reprogramming people. It's based on getting the truth out to people about the fiat debt-based currency, child and human trafficking, corruption, blackmail, and stuff like that in the government. And so the counter psyop that is in charge of Operation Mockingbird, which was the CIA, and the other intelligence agencies that run these child trafficking industries that are corrupting our government through things like Jeffrey Epstein and blackmail. These individuals infiltrated the Anon groups online, and then they started spewing disinformation, things like JFK Jr. is alive and going to be Donald Trump's president, the earth is flat, that kind of stuff. And then once that disinformation campaign had run its course, then the media started reporting on QAnon and saying they believe the earth is flat, they believe JFK Jr. is still alive, and they didn't touch all this stuff about blackmail, fiat currency, and child and human trafficking. You see? So this is how this kind of stuff works. So QAnon is a fiction.
I had this great tweet from a fan yesterday that I would love your response to, because I was like, you nailed it on the head. The guy said, and he does use the term QAnon, but I'm quoting him. He goes, "It's telling how out of all the BS nonsense that QAnon believed in, the media honed in on the one thing they were basically right about: international pedophile rings serving global elite as their big example of what a supposedly absurd belief to discredit them with." And it's kind of fascinating, as you speak about the Mockingbird media, how blue-pilled people can tell you with a straight face that Jeffrey Epstein was a monster, that he was arrested, that the things he did are horrible. And yet, if you believe in an international pedophile ring for the elites, you're a crazy person. And they will have these two beliefs in their head simultaneously. And if you say, well, that's a contradiction, no, you're crazy.
Oh yeah, well it's called cognitive dissonance. They have a
Yes.
cognitive dissonance at the fact that there is a large international corrupting child trafficking ring, that international entities like, say, the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations, even things like NATO, the UN, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, that these entities use these child trafficking rings to blackmail people into
Yeah, I'm not
submission,
even looking at
place
chat
them in
right
high
now.
levels
I've
of
got it
power so that
full
they will
screened
do
out.
as they're told, not do what's best for people.
Yeah. So let's talk about the other part of the nickname. Have you ever identified as being a shaman of some sort?
Well, I practice shamanism, but one of the funny things is that I never, ever, ever called myself the QAnon shaman, but the media said that I gave myself that name, that I call myself the QAnon shaman. That never happened.
Can you tell me what practicing shamanry means?
Well, look at it like this. Shamanism is the oldest religion in the world because it is the first religion. And all shamanic cultures practice ceremonial use of things like sacred plants or things in the ecosystem. So all shamans are connected to nature. All shamanic cultures believe in a unifying spiritual deity or a unified field of energy. All shamanic cultures believe in the use of things like song, dance, drumming, and singing. They all practice some form of healing, and they all believe in the spirit world, and they all have certain sacraments or things in nature that they believe are sacred. All shamans also, the good ones that are out there that aren't charlatans or people seeking power, they chase off evil spirits, they ward off evil spirits, and they prevent negative timelines from manifesting for the culture. So they make sure that crops are good, they call the rain, they make sure that the people are healthy, etc. So that's what I practice, is all of those things. And that's why I say it's the first religion, it's the oldest religion, because all religions, one way or another, are practicing an ancient form of shamanism because they all believe in all of these things.
Does that mean, should I take it to mean that you're an Elizabeth Warren supporter?
No.
Well, when she dances, she makes it rain.
Oh, well, I don't know about all that.
How about another question? Should I take it, reading between the lines, that you've met the elves?
The DMT elves?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, can you explain to people what your first experience was like breaking the veil and meeting the elves?
Well, the first time that I ever met them, it was kind of a compounding experience. I shot up a tower, a spinning tower of like multicolored fractal-like patterns. And I shot up out of this tower, and at the top of the tower was like a Vitruvian man, you know, with the hands out, you know, only I was that Vitruvian man. And I like shot out of the crown of the Vitruvian man and into the ether. And then I saw like galaxies, I saw stars, I saw the very fabric of reality itself. And then as I moved into these higher dimensions and planes of consciousness, I ended up interacting with and meeting all of these different entities that existed and lived in that realm. And it was almost like an interdimensional handshake of all of the entities that lived in the DMT space. It was really quite cool. And then as I started to come down, it was like I was coming down through this like the machinery that makes the universe run and move and tick. And it was all based on sacred geometry and stuff. And I was coming down this fractal sacred geometric machine and then back into my body. And then boom, I was back in my body.
Did they have some kind of message for you?
Not the first time. First time it was more so just like, hey, nice to meet you. Glad you're here.
What about other times? I mean, have a lot of people, when they break the veil, they come back with some kind of message or revelation?
You know, I've never really gotten any sort of like message or revelation from them as any more than, you know, reality is not what you think it is. If anything, the message was everything is based on energy, frequency, and vibration. And if you change the frequency, then you change the reality. Like changing radio dials, you know, changing the dial on a radio. You go to a different radio station, all of a sudden, all of this is gone and you're somewhere else. Your consciousness is somewhere else, not your physical body, but your consciousness is able to travel the etheric realms.
What is your view about the fact that psychedelics are kind of getting corporate sponsorship and are becoming more mainstream? Do you think this is a good thing, a bad thing, a mix?
I think it's a mix, because the pharmaceutical companies are really trying their darndest to create some sort of a synthetic that will allow them to profit from all of this. They've really been pushing for things like ketamine therapy, which I do not advocate for at all. And it's because it makes them money. Psilocybin, mushrooms, magic mushrooms, peyote, ayahuasca, even cannabis have been used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years by shaman, by sages and saints to transcend physical reality and immerse themselves in the ether, as well as helping people to heal. So I'm glad to see that there's some sort of traction being gained in the public dialogue regarding these issues. However, I don't think that corporate sponsorship or pharmaceutical intervention is advantageous at all.
Why do you think there's such a kind of background noise in our culture that if you experiment or, you know, people who use psychedelics to heal? I personally know several people who had depression or PTSD, and they tried just once a trip on shrooms, and they came back, their brains kind of reset and were they didn't become addicts. They didn't start beating their wives. They didn't start wrecking cars. They did this one experiment in safe situations with their friends. It helped them heal. And yet, if you talk about this in many rooms, there's a perception that you're a crazy person. Why do you think that perception exists?
Yeah, I don't try to
Well,
keep
the
up with them most of the
perception exists
time.
because there has been a very
Anna
real and
truly loves it.
intense disinformation campaign pushed by government agencies and the Mockingbird media. The fact of the matter is, in particular, like for example, with psilocybin, what this stuff does is it actually connects like all the neurons in your brain. And as it does so, you dissolve the illusion of separation. It has been clinically proven that when you are quote unquote hallucinating, it's not that you're seeing something that isn't there. It's that you're seeing stuff that is there all the time, but you don't normally perceive with your five senses. And this is because of this heightened level of neuroconnectivity in the brain. Normally, the brain filters all of this information out, but under the influence of psilocybin, this information is allowed to come in. So you're actually perceiving reality more in its actuality, more in its objectivity as what it actually is than when you're sober. So because the brain is based on the formulation of neurological patterns, and those neurological patterns can a lot of the time be linked to things like depression or anxiety, and they end up reinforcing themselves over and over and over again the longer the pattern stays in place. Then when the psilocybin comes in there and then changes all that up by connecting all the brains neurons in the brain,
I'm sure
then
it's fun.
once you quote unquote come down, then you have a new neurological pattern. You can't see reality the same way. And another aspect to it is this: the neurological patterns that are in our subconscious mind and therefore affect our conscious perception of reality. A lot of the time, especially when it comes to things like anxiety or depression, they are connected to negative experiences, traumatic experiences.
Yes.
And so these intense experiences of boundary disillusion that come with psychedelic or hallucinogenic experiences, they are equally intense to these intense experiences. And they almost act like a positive reinforcement to the getting rid of these experiences and showing people that life can be good again and they can start anew.
Yeah, the thing with depression is it's extremely insidious, and it is almost like demonic possession because the depression knows what to tell you to keep you in that state. And the vast majority of people who struggle with depression, which is I would, and I'm sure most people who are depressed would much rather deal with like a broken leg or having to be in a wheelchair than being depressed.
No,
Because
me
all right,
either.
it sucks, I'm in a wheelchair. You can have an extremely fruitful life if you have some kind of physical disability. It's not even a question. But when it's your brain 24/7 telling you, that things are bad and they're always going to stay bad, there's nowhere else for you to go, and it knows exactly what to say. And the thing that's tricky, if depression has been your norm your entire life, you are of the belief it's never going to get better. Like you can't even imagine being not depressed. So it just kind of, like you said, it feeds on itself, and it's just really a horrific situation to be in. Guys, your business was humming, but now you're falling behind. Teams are buried in manual work. It's taking forever to close the books. Getting one source of truth is like pulling teeth. If this is you, you should know these three numbers: 36,000, 25, 1. 36,000 is the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the number one cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down costs. 1, your business is one of a kind. So you get a customized solution for all of your key performance indicators in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need in one place. NetSuite has the power to have everything together so you can make better decisions, and they're offering an offer that is unprecedented to make that possible. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist. It's designed to give you consistently excellent performance for free. Just go to netsuite.com/welcome. That's netsuite.com/welcome to get your own KPI checklist for free. netsuite.com/welcome.
Stuff.
Guys, this summer you could spend thousands of dollars on planes, hotels, tourist traps, or you can spend less money on a beautiful garden that'll give you years of pleasure with fastgrowingtrees.com. They've got thousands of easy-to-grow plants, shrubs, and tree varieties. They're expertly curated for your unique climate and needs. They've got Meyer lemons, they've got evergreens, they got shade trees, and everything in between. You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to haul heavy plants around. With fastgrowingtrees.com, you order online. They arrive at your door in just a few days. I did it myself. It was really easy. No green thumb, no problem. FastGrowingTrees.com's plant experts are just a Zoom chat or phone call away. They're always available, eager to help. They can walk you through your entire garden to help solve problems you're having with plants and trees. Plus, Fast Growing Trees plant experts have specialized degrees and training to help you troubleshoot from root to leaf. It's like telehealth for your plants. I love FastGrowingTrees.com because it's easy to use. They've got a big variety, and the prices can't be beat. And with their Fast Growing Trees 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, everything will look great fresh out of the box. Join almost 2 million happy Fast Growing Trees customers. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/welcome now to get 15% off your order. That's 15% off. All you have to do is go to fastgrowingtrees.com/welcome. They've got some really cool stuff there. Please check them out. Let's get back to the show. Let's shift tacks a little bit. So you're out of jail. Can you tell us what your legal status is? Are you under house arrest? Are you a free man? Are there more charges pending? What is your status right now in eyes of the law?
Well, thank goodness there's no more charges pending.
Good.
I am a quote unquote free man in the sense that I'm no longer in prison. I'm not on house arrest. I'm not in a halfway house. I wouldn't be able to talk to you if I was on house arrest or in a halfway house. I am currently on what is called supervised release. A lot of people like to call it probation, but that's actually not what it is. It's supervised release.
What's the difference between the two?
Well, what it is it's just a it's a
what is the difference
of what supervised release is? They just put a different label on it. They're calling it probation because you have a probation officer, which I do. There are conditions to that.
Okay.
I have to call like a urinalysis, like corporate hotline or whatever every day. So in case I have to go down and pee in a cup so that my probation officer knows that I'm not using drugs. I also am not allowed to leave the state as of right now. That could change in the future. My probation officer said that, I basically have to develop a rapport and show that I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to do. And I'm going to do it.
Sounds like probation to me.
Problem. And then, the idea of possibly leaving the state would be open for discussion. And obviously, I'm not allowed to hang out with other felons, which I wouldn't anyway. I don't really have any friends that are felons. But that's pretty much it. I also have to, report my income and stuff like that every month. I have to have a job, which I do. So there's all of that. But it's far less restrictive than being in prison.
Yeah, of course. Let me give you a softball question because obviously there's so much misinformation about you in the media. Were you on January 6th attempting to overthrow the government?
No.
Can you expound on what I mean, I have several friends who've had stories written about them in the media, and they're sitting at home and they're like, not only is this completely removed from reality, it's that if you bothered to call me for 3 seconds, I could have dispelled this, but you'd much rather tell the story than just talk to me for literally a few seconds. Can you tell what was the story from your perspective?
Absolutely. So let's start with the notion that the Mockingbird media said that I was a failed actor. They also said that I called myself the QAnon shaman. They also said that I was schizophrenic, bipolar, depressed, and delusional. None of that is true. None of that was in my psychological evaluation. That was court ordered.
Wait a minute, hold on.
In fact,
so they literally just completely pulled this out of nowhere?
Well, as far as I know, they spoke with my previous attorney, and that's where they got this crazy information from.
Okay.
He has since denied that that's the case, but there's some things that were reported in some of these articles that only could have come from one place.
Okay.
And what's interesting, though, is that in my
No worries. I'm just leaving it to fill time while I finish up.
These things. It said that
Bury a paperwork today. I just haven't streamed in a few days.
So why it is that those things were said, I am still scratching my head about. There's other things too. You know, the media used my image to create a shock and awe campaign and a straw man that they called the QAnon shaman.
Yeah.
And in the process, they also, while using my image on a screen, they use terms like white supremacy, they use terms like racism, they use terms like terrorism, they use terms like insurrection and stuff like that. And so there's a lot in the media that is entirely false. Most of it is entirely false. The only things that were probably true were some of the things like how many months I got in prison. And that's pretty much it. So this is what they do. This is how you create misinformation campaigns. Is you take true information and then you couple it with false information,
Impact employment norms,
and you bring them together to create a misinformation narrative
Hello?
that they control.
I make this point many
Hello?
times because I always say the corporate press is factual and not truthful. And the very example I could give is, let's suppose I bought a store and I want to turn into condos. The headline would factually,
Hello?
not truthfully, say Michael refuses to sell food
Hello?
to hungry children. Or they could even say Michael refused to sell food
Hello?
to hungry black children to make me have to be a racist.
Yes.
Because I'm closing down a grocery store. So all it takes is they don't lie all the time. Just
Hey, what's up?
complete lies. They will take some truth. There's your picture, and have on the screen white supremacy. And I'm at home, I'm going to make the connection. This guy on my screen has something to do with white supremacy. Why else would the two things be on the screen together, right? It's just logic.
Sure, let me check.
And they let the viewer make that connection.
Well, it's called neuro-linguistic programming.
Yes.
And what it's about is combining
Okay,
trigger
check it
words
out.
with trigger images. And then when you combine these two together, you get an emotional response in the subconscious mind. And a lot of it is based on the use of cognitive labels.
You did it from the email?
Trigger these emotional responses. And then the media uses these
Chime?
emotional responses to target individuals or target
Yep, it
other
went through.
groups of people.
So let's talk. So let
looks like it's
let's
good.
Talk about it from your perspective. What really happened? Why were you there at the Capitol?
No
on
worries. You have a
January
good day.
6th if it wasn't to, as they claimed, overthrow the government?
All right, bye.
Well, let's start with this. If you want to see what a violent overthrow of
slow.
the government or an insurrection looks like, just look at what happened in Afghanistan recently. That right there is an insurrection. I went to the January 6th MAGA Million March, the protest of the election, for a number of reasons. To start, it wasn't just about the election. It was about a number of things for me, and I think for a lot of other people as well. For me, it was about knowing that JFK was not killed by Lee Harvey Oswald, but was shot by more than one bullet from more than one angle. And the government and the media had been lying to us for decades about that. And Donald Trump released the autopsy, and lo and behold, the autopsy says he was shot by more than one bullet from more than one angle. Isn't that where the term conspiracy theory came from? And conspiracy theorist was people that didn't believe Lee Harvey Oswald was the sole lone shooter of JFK?
Well,
That's where that term came from.
I'm a JFK truther. I don't think there were any gunmen. I think his head just did that.
Yeah, so that's number one. So there is a long string of lies in the media.
No, been busy. I had a funeral yesterday, and it just
quite clear that the
been doing life stuff.
and the media have been working together for a long
I
time.
joined the game last night and
I
then
think there was
immediately got out because I was
CIA,
so tired. I was like, I can't even play.
The head of the CIA that once said, once everything that every American citizen believes is false, we will have done our job.
And can I
will
say
know our
one
job
thing?
is complete.
I want everyone listening to this to assume that both Jake and I are crazy and that we're liars, and go look up Operation Mockingbird for yourself. Look up what the CIA admitted themselves. Look on the Wikipedia. Assume we're crazy people. Assume we don't know what we're talking about. Assume we're paid for by Putin or Zelensky or whoever. That's fine. Go look yourself. You don't have to trust anything that anyone is saying on your screens, and then you come back and see if the word conspiracy theory applies. Go ahead.
So that right there was number one for me. And then there's all this other stuff throughout our history up until the day of January 6th. Things like Waco, things like the Oklahoma City bombing.
Have you
things
been
like
to Waco, by the
9/11.
way? Have
What's
you been
that?
to the church is still there? Have you ever been there?
No, no, I have not. But that was a perfect example that the American government could literally burn men, women, and children alive and brush it under the rug.
Yeah.
There's things like that. There's also things like Operation Fast and Furious. There's things like weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. There's things like Benghazi, the 33,000 emails. There's things like Operation Northwoods. That's kind of back during JFK's time, but that right there is evidence that false flags are something that the government's doing a long time. The Gulf of Tonkin and getting us in the Vietnam War. There's all these things. And then there's also, Russia for 4 years. And then that turns out to be a lie. Once again, the media and the government working together, the weaponization of federal agencies, FISA warrants and stuff like that, all the while they knew it was a lie. Then there is COVID and the lockdowns.
Wow.
And the fact that everybody in one way or another was
Crazy.
on some form of federal house arrest because they were told that they were not essential and that they had to stay home. People lost their homes, people lost their jobs, children were starving. And then to top it all off, they created the COVID Relief Act, where they gave literally billions of dollars away to special interest groups in foreign nations, but they only gave every American citizen a $600 check after being locked up for almost a year. And there's also the BLM and Antifa riots that were mostly peaceful, according to the Mockingbird media. And then there was, to top it all off, the rigged election in 2020. So when you see this long string of abuses and this long pattern of corruption and all the evidence that goes with it, you have to ask yourself, where are we going to be 7 generations from now if we don't say something, if we don't stand up and say enough is enough, you guys are lying? And what's wrong, in my opinion, what's wrong with questioning proven liars?
Yeah. Oh no, I completely agree with you. So things, I think would you say it's fair to say that things quickly spun out of control and you were kind of
Oh,
at the epicenter of that?
yeah. What really did it, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, was when the police actually threw concussion grenades and tear gas into what was otherwise a mostly peaceful crowd. There was a couple of people at the barricades that were causing problems, but they hadn't breached the barricades. It was when all that stuff happened, when they threw the tear gas and the concussion grenades into the crowd, that's when things got really crazy and really fast, got really crazy really fast.
So when I was doing my book, The New Right, I was going to go to Charlottesville because I thought this is going to be some minor, brouhaha, and then I could write about it, be a good closing chapter of my book. And the night before I was going to arrive the second day, I saw the tiki torches on CNN and that it was on CNN and it was a whole huge thing. And I'm like, oh crap, this is national news. Like, how quickly did you go from, hey, I'm dressing up, I dress up all the time, going to this protest, to now I'm on every channel and I'm the face of this story that is kind of feeding on its own momentum?
Well, by the time I had come out of the building, I had already gone viral on Twitter.
Okay.
And I was all over the internet. And then
I did endorse you for president, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
dude, I'd certainly do a better job than Biden or half the candidates that are running. I promise you that. But the Mockingbird media used my image the very next day, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe even that night. And that image went all over. Every single media outlet around the world saw my face. And that happened very quickly. My social media was shut down. My YouTube, my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Facebook, all just wiped. The only thing that survived was Rumble and BitChute.
But Uber, did Uber shut you down too?
What did?
Uber and Lyft, because Laura Loomer got her Uber and Lyft shut down. Did they
Oh,
go
I
after
didn't.
your
I
bank?
don't use Uber or Lyft. I didn't use either one of them. But I wouldn't
What
be
about
surprised if I tried to get one.
What about your bank accounts? Because I know that they recently got Nigel Farage for political reasons. Did your banks have any issues?
I didn't really have them.
Oh,
All I
okay.
had was like a green dot card.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, just walk me through. So that night you were becoming kind of this figure mascot, I think is probably the correct word for this event. It's certainly, you're just one dude. It's out of your hands what's kind of being spun. Can you walk us through kind of what happened from there?
Well, I got on the road to go back home to Phoenix because we drove out there, and then I started my phone number had gone public.
Oh, you got
So
doxxed. Okay.
yeah, so the media was blowing my phone up, random strangers, weird voicemails, strange text messages from people I never knew or never met. Um, my mother and other family members are telling me, "Hey, the FBI is looking for you." And so I thought, well, shit, I'll give them a call.
Yeah.
They want information on me. Why not just call them and be like, "Hey, what's up?" So I called the
I'll be right
FBI. Conversed with
Wait,
the
hold on,
special agent.
hold on. I gotta ask. You call what their 1-800 number? How do you introduce yourself?
I think I said something like, "Hi, yeah, my name's Jake Angeli. I'm the guy with the horns in the face paint. What's up?" I heard y'all were looking for me. I figured I'd call you.
And they knew who you were just from that, because that could just
Yeah,
mean
but
you're a
what was kind of
senator.
funny about it is that when I called him, I was like, I heard you guys were looking for me. Do you want to talk? You want information on me? I'll give you whatever you're looking for. And the funny thing is that they didn't. They're like, well, let me call you back because we have a special agent that's going to want to talk to you, blah 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 blah. We're not really the people that are supposed to take this information. We're just kind of getting the information from random people. And I was like, okay, well, call me back, man. And they didn't call me back for several hours, and I was kind of like suspicious of that. I was like, that's weird. I would think that they would want to call me back right away.
Were you freaking out? Were you scared?
No, not at the time, because I figured, I didn't riot, I didn't hurt anybody, I didn't assault police officers, I didn't
Right.
vandalize any property, I didn't break into anything. You know what I mean? I just walked through open doors. I actually tried to help the police inside the building. So I thought, well, I think that at the time, it was publicly being stated that it was just for like misdemeanor charges. And even at the time, I understood there was a difference between misdemeanors and felonies.
Sure.
So I was like, well, misdemeanor charges, maybe spend, some little bit of time in jail, maybe some fines or probation. Okay, I can understand that, and so I that's why I called him. I was like, hey, I heard y'all want to talk to me, so let's talk.
Folks, cold turkey may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. I'm not talking about some weird mind voodoo for my crazy neighbor. You know who it is. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume, F-U-M, and they look at the problem a different way. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? And Fume is an innovative, award-nominated device that does just that. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air, and instead of harmful chemicals, they use all natural, delicious flavors. You get it. Instead of bad, Fume is good. It's a habit you're free to enjoy and makes replacing your bad habit easy. And your Fume comes with an adjustable airflow dial and is designed with movable parts and magnets for fidgeting. So it gives your fingers a lot to do, which is helpful for de-stressing and anxiety while breaking your habit. Stopping is something a lot of people put off because it's hard, but switching to Fume is easy, enjoyable, and even fun. Fume has served over 100,000 customers and has thousands of success stories, and there's no reason it can't be you. Join Fume in accelerating humanity's breakup from destructive habits by picking up the Journey Pack today. Head to tryfume.com and use code MALICE to save 10% when you get the Journey Pack today. That's tryfum.com. Use code MALICE to save 10% off your order today. You know Dave Smith and his Very Failed podcast and how he's always playing around with that device of his. Do you want to be like him? Of course not. It's a disaster. Tryfume.com, use promo code MALICE, and get control of your bad habit. Don't be like Dave. Folks, Michael Malice here, podcaster, author, and yes, underwear model. Sheath is something that I wear every day, and the great thing about Sheath underwear is that they have dual pouch technology for both parts of your anatomy. They also have a girls line. I don't wear that stuff. Dave Smith might. Go to sheathunderwear.com and use promo code MALICE. You get 20% off. It's great underwear for when it's cold. It's great underwear for when it's hot. And I wear it every single day because it's the best underwear I've ever owned. The first time they brought into the studio, I was like, what is this? And now I swear by it. And in fact, I model for them. It's got added comfort, added performance, added mobility. And there's something a little subversive about talking to someone while the whole time your underwear is cupping your junk. I'm not going to lie. I do enjoy that aspect of it. And folks, they're not just an underwear line. Sheath now has bamboo hoodies and shirts, which are really, really soft. So go to sheathunderwear.com, use promo code Malice. You get 20% off your order. Support the underwear that supports you and that supports the show. So how did you end up getting arrested? Was it a traumatic experience or did you turn yourself in?
Well, no, yeah. So I knew that if I didn't, talk to them and turn myself in, that it was only a matter of time before I got the SWAT treatment.
Yes, there's no question. Yes.
So I figured, well, it's probably best to just face this. Face it like a man, confront the situation, take responsibility. So I set up a meeting with the FBI to converse here in Phoenix upon my arrival back to Phoenix on January 9th. And I even asked the FBI agent, I was like, hey, look, just be real with me. Are you guys going to arrest me? And he's like, oh, no, I don't see any reason to arrest you. We just want to talk to you. And naively, I believed him. He was an ex-Marine. He seemed like a nice guy. He was just trying to do his job. I'd worked with law enforcement when I was working with kids in group homes. So I understood he had a job to do. And then the next morning, when that morning on January 9th, I went in for the interview and with the FBI. And as soon as I got into the interrogation room, they read me my Miranda rights. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Were you actually surprised?
Kinda, not really. I figured, but at the same time, I wanted to believe that the system wasn't that corrupt. I mean, I knew based on all this other string of evidence, they're probably going to arrest me. They're probably lying to me, but I wanted to believe that it wasn't going to turn out so bad.
Why would a system that's been run for decades by people who traffic in international pedophile rings not be corrupt?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that, I figured I'm probably going to get arrested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I suppose it was a certain level of willful ignorance and naivety. It was naivety more than anything, more than willful ignorance. It was naivety of thing. But like, in all honesty,
Naivete.
even if I knew they were going to arrest me, which I figured they probably would, I would show up anyway.
Sure.
Because that's what a man does.
Well, it's also the alternative is you getting kind of shot in your sleep.
And I knew that, and I nobody deserves to have the door kicked in. My dog getting shot or something. And like I said, I think that real men confront controversy. They confront their mistakes, or they confront the fire that is in front of them. They walk through it. They don't run from it. That's what cowards
How
do.
difficult was it for you to get a lawyer, given your notoriety in a sense?
Well, my public defender here in Phoenix, when I was here in Phoenix and they arraigned me and all that stuff, was just total garbage. As most public defenders are, not all, some of them are good, but then I got a phone call, or I called my mom, and she said she got a phone call from Albert Watkins, the guy that represented those people in Minneapolis or whatever that came out of their homes with the firearms, and BLM and Antifa were talking about burning down their homes.
2 guns. Yeah.
Yeah. And he apparently represented them. And my mom's like, this guy represented these people. He's willing to, take your situation on pro bono. And so I got on the phone with him on the lawyer phone. And he basically told me, oh, I'm a constitutionalist. I support Trump. What they're doing to you is atrocious, et cetera, et cetera. Your public defender did a really bad job. I'd like to represent you, blah, 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 blah. And being naive and not understanding the legal system and not being able to do any research on this guy.
Right.
I just kind of trusted what my mom was saying, and I trusted Al, and I was like, all right, yeah, sure. He'd been doing federal defense attorney law for like 30 something years. So I thought, well, that's a plus. Little did I know, apparently what some people told me is he was donating to Democrat campaigns, that he was all over, liberal Democrat run media, CNN, MSNBC. Like he was always on those platforms. And so he was in one way or another kind of he liked the attention on him, in my opinion. And he really, in my opinion, did a terrible job of representing.
What were you facing at that point?
Well, it started out with misdemeanors, and then they slapped me with the 2 felonies that in total had a maximum sentence of 25 years. And that'll wake you up in the morning, I'll tell you what. You know, that really, like, oh my God, and I didn't understand, the legal system at the time, that I, likely would get 25 years unless, and I found out later, unless I went to trial. So, but it still freaks me out. I'm sitting in a cell in solitary confinement thinking, holy crap.
They put you in solitary?
Yeah. They said it was for COVID. And then when I got shipped over to DC, once again, it was for COVID, 23-hour lockdown. And then I fasted for 11 days because the food wasn't organic. And then Judge Lamberth, God bless his heart, did the court order for an organic diet while I was being detained. And then so because the DC jail either couldn't or wouldn't provide me with an organic diet, they shipped me over to Alexandria, Virginia. And that was like a skip, a hop, and a jump away from DC. They housed federal inmates, especially high-profile ones. And there is where I did my 10.5 months of solitary confinement.
Do you agree with people, and this is my view as well, that solitary confinement is both a form of torture and unconstitutional?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think that solitary confinement is a form of soft torture because it's a form of soft torture because to the neural system in our brains, solitary confinement is akin to starvation and sleep deprivation.
Yes.
So in that sense, yes, it is a form of torture.
And wait, I got to interrupt you because, again, I want to clarify, people. There's no claim that you killed anyone, raped anyone, broke into someone's house. But my point is, you're being put in solitary. I can understand if someone's some violent murderer and they're like, look, we put him in Gen Pop, he's going to start killing people. This is an animal. There was no accusation at all that you were a violent. Have you ever been arrested for armed robbery or murder?
No, clean record.
Just want to be clear. So there's no possibility, there's no likelihood, or there's nothing to indicate that this person would be a violent threat to either the COs or other prisoners.
Right. And that's why, and they said it was for COVID. And then when that had pretty much run its course, I think they said that it was for my own protection because I was so high profile. Now, what doesn't make sense about that is that when they were transferring me from Alexandria to Oklahoma or to Colorado for my psychological evaluation and then back to Alexandria again, during all those times I was in general population. So did COVID and my safety, all that stuff disappear?
But here's the other thing, Jake. If you don't have COVID, you can't spread COVID.
Well, I know. I'm
just saying, all it takes is testing you, testing another prisoner that you might like. Neither of you have COVID. Great. Lock them in a little cell together. They'll be friends, and problem solved.
Well, when I was in Colorado, I did have a cellmate, but he wasn't a very friendly person.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if they wanted to avoid the solitary
and
have
right,
human decency, it's easy to resolve with just a simple COVID test, and now you could buddy up these two people and kind of isolate them together.
Solitary. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but solitary really made me much stronger mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It was a lot of pressure, but
did you have a television
turned me into a diamond? It didn't crush me. It turned me into a diamond.
Did you have a television? What stimulation did you have for all that time?
Well, when I first got to Alexandria, I was put in a cell with no book because of COVID, with no real access to a television, I only got out every 48 hours for 45 minutes because of COVID. And I also was in a cell that didn't have radio reception. So they gave me a radio, but it wouldn't pick up any radio stations. So all I had was a pen and a pad of paper for like the first 35 days.
How did you occupy yourself?
I wrote books. I wrote screenplays. I wrote poetry. I used my time as wisely as I could.
I mean, did you like exercise? I mean,
incredible.
I think that's supposed to be a good way to tire the brain.
Oh
if you
yeah,
just-
yeah. I did like push-ups and stuff like that. You know, yoga, stuff like that. I meditated. But the thing is about like meditation in solitary confinement, especially when you have like this 25-year anvil hanging over your head by a string.
Yeah.
It's hard to get to a state of peace. It's hard to get outside of that melodrama. It's hard to get outside of yourself when every time you come back to your body, you realize, oh yeah, I'm in a cell that I can't get out of, and the government and the media are saying all this stuff about me, and they're talking about 25 years maximum sentence, and I don't know how long I'm going to be here, and you know, et cetera, et cetera.
The thing is, as I'm sure you appreciated at the time, you were so visually the symbol of that day that even though you never were even accused of putting your hands on a police officer or breaking down a door or anything like that, and other people did tussle with the cops, you still were in a very literal sense Exhibit A. So if they wanted to punish a political prisoner, you're the face, and I'm sure you realize this, and I'm sure you heard this, your picture every single time they talked about it. You were front and center. So that how are you going to tell yourself, oh, it's, just be cool when the threat was extremely rational and real?
Precisely. And I'm not too big of a fan of Andrew Tate for a number of reasons. But one of the things that he had right was when he was talking about when he was locked in solitary in Romania, and about how, like, when you have a negative thought in the regular world, all you got to do is watch TV or pull out your phone, and you can just get your mind off of it. But when you're stuck in a cell all day and you don't have any sort of external stimulation to get your mind off of that bad thought, the bad thought keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. And in many ways,
This
it
is
becomes
actually a
back
decent
more
interview.
and more and more intense and more intense each time. So it's a lot to deal with, especially when you are, like you said, they made me the face of this thing. They made me the poster boy. So even if I didn't assault a police officer, even if I didn't riot, even if I didn't destroy any property, even if I did try to help the police, they made me the face. So that all of a sudden is like guilty by association. Now we have to go after this guy because he's the face. We have to make an example of this guy because he was there and the media chose to make him the face.
How dark did it get? Did you ever have to deal with suicidal ideation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is that if you tell the doctors that, or if you tell anybody that, they lock you in a cell where you're observed all the time, and they give you like a suicide vest, and you're almost basically like dang near naked. There's nothing in your cell. You don't get books. You don't get nothing. And you got somebody watching you shit all day. You got, watching somebody watching you 24/7. And the thing is I knew in reality, like, yeah, like, of course I had thoughts of it, but I also knew I didn't want to commit suicide. I didn't want to die, but at the same time, I didn't want to live anymore. And that's a very strange place to be.
Because you were trapped. You were completely powerless. You were at the mercy of forces that you knew did not value you. Were corrupt. I wouldn't say corrupt, because corrupt implies redeemable. Were evil, had no respect for human life, and would be more than happy to have you as a notch on the bed, that like, we took this guy out, and now let's make an example of this guy for everybody else who wants to challenge us in whatever capacity. And you know how these people operate. So at what point
I'm not seeing them before they're getting taken down.
Be a free man one day?
After I got my sentence.
So let's walk us through that. You're facing, like, can you walk us through that? Because I mean, until you're out, you're still going to be like, okay, there's going to be something else. You know, they're going to make something else up. Like, I'll believe it when I see it, I'm sure.
Yeah. So when I was stuck in solitary, there was this idea, and this was what was so hard about it, of like not knowing what was going to happen. So it was like, are they going to sentence me to a long period? Are they going to let me go shortly? Are they going to be like, oh, well, you served your time in solitary, you know, I'll give you a year in prison, get on out of here, you know? And that's why, like, you know, the plea deal that I signed, my lawyer was like, this is the best I can get for you. It turns out now the attorney I have now, who was once a prosecutor, Bill Shipley, January 6th Defense Fund, that guy, he basically said, Jake, I never would have had you sign this thing. This is like one of the worst plea deals I've ever seen, you know, but I didn't know. I had no idea,
Of course.
you know. I was just taking the legal advice of Al Watkins, and you know,
Can you walk us
Shipley,
through what were the terms of that plea deal? That's public, right?
oh, you know, can't appeal, being one of the big ones.
But I mean, did did you commit to lesser crimes? Like, what did you end up pleading to?
No, they had me commit to the highest crime.
Oh crap. Okay. And what was this?
Yeah,
Then what?
yeah,
What was the sentence then?
obstruction of an official proceeding, and they also had enhancements on it that my my defense attorney now was like, dude, I would have argued at the sentencing, or I would have argued before you even signed this, of like, well, this doesn't apply right here. This enhancement doesn't apply, you know, but I didn't know any better.
Wait,
So my attorney
when
said,
you're-
this is the best deal you're going to get. You know, it's better than 20 years in prison. Sign for 41 to 51 months. That's the guidelines for this. Sign for it. And I was like, you know, this is the best I can get, you know?
Okay, so you signed for, so you were like, all right, worst case scenario, I'm getting 51 months, but hey, that's forestalling 25 years. I can see why people would take that in a heartbeat. I mean, it would, especially knowing what you were facing and that they were making you the face of it. It's like you thought you were getting a good deal. So when did you actually? So what was the actual sentence?
41 months.
And you served all 41?
No, no, no. I served 27 of it in prison, 2 of it in like a week and a halfway house, and then the rest was on home confinement with like an ankle monitor. So a total of 29. But the thing is that I had 6 months off for good time, because in federal prison you only serve 85% of your sentence. So 85%, 15% of 41 months is 6 months. And then I also did programming while I was in prison. And because of the First Step Act, which Donald Trump signed into law in 2018, I think, because of the First Step Act, or FSA, I received 6 months worth of First Step Act credits that got me 6 months off my sentence. So I got a total of a year off my sentence because I didn't get in any trouble while I was in prison. Good time, and this, First Step Act thing. And then so I got a year off of my sentence. And then I got released to halfway house. So what's interesting about it, though, is that, and this just goes to show how fast disinformation can spread. Okay, I got my sentence. I got my release date in mid-February of 2023. All right, I knew I was going to get out on March 28th in mid-February, and then a couple weeks later, Tucker Carlson airs that footage. Okay. And then a couple weeks after that, like 3 weeks after that, I get released. And there's all these people, oh, Tucker Carlson in the footage, it got him released. We won, we did it, and nothing could be further from the truth. But this shows how fast disinformation can spread, because then all of these people that are these talking heads on the networks or talking heads on the internet, or even like Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying that Tucker Carlson was a hero because I got released. And it's like, well, I mean, you're a congressman. You should know better. You should. All it takes is a call to the BOP.
So you're just to be clear, you're surprised that a congressperson is either lying or just not doing their homework at this, even after all this.
Well, I've been very impressed with some of the things that Marjorie Taylor Greene has had.
Sure. Okay, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why I held her to a higher standard.
Okay.
And why I was slightly disappointed that she also believed this ridiculous notion. I mean, I understand the optics of it. I understand why it looked that way. But if you understand law, which anybody that's in Congress ought to understand law, then you have to know that like that footage, it would take months of litigation
But
for
where
that
I'm pushing
footage to
back,
get me released.
where I'm pushing back is I don't think that she's necessarily a dumb woman. She's certainly not as dumb as you would think watching CNN.
I don't think she's a dumb woman at
Well,
all.
hold on. My point being, I don't think she got it wrong. I think it's perfectly possible that she was simply lying to cozy up to Tucker and spread a good narrative.
Maybe, you know,
That's all
I mean, you know, calling out Eric Swalwell on the House floor for sleeping with the Chinese spy, you know,
Epic.
thank you,
No one's
you know,
not arguing with you
pulling
there.
up the pictures of Hunter Biden and his sex tape
correct.
stuff during a hearing. Thank you, but the question we have to ask ourselves is this theatrics? Is it political theater? Is it for clout? Why?
Exactly what it is.
Because if I'm not mistaken, she also backed this spending bill for the war in Ukraine recently.
Yeah, I mean, she's in Congress.
Impact
and
employment
in
groups,
her
speaking up to help
defense,
you.
you're going to be somewhat limited because you got to fight the party. So who knows? There's a lot.
Yeah, I was calling in regards to your
I
interest in
do
the
not
food
give
production
famous people the
position
benefit of the
in
doubt,
Monroe.
even if it's someone who sometimes does things.
When would
that
you
I
be
happen
available to come in for an
to
interview?
like. Folks, Jerome Powell and the Fed raised
Would
rates
you
for
be
the
able to make it at 1
11th
p.m.?
time in July. The Hill has warned that
Okay.
it's
Do
a
you know where the
mistake
office
that could
is?
spark a recession, and economists believe
Okay.
this is
I'm
the
going to go ahead and
last
send you a
rate
text
hike in
anyway
most
with the address
aggressive
and then
rate hike cycle
with
in
what to bring
history.
with
And
you.
in fact,
Okay.
they're forecasting rate cuts in 2024.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's why bullish sentiment in gold for hedge funds just hit an 18-month high. And in fact, bullish sentiment for silver has risen at its fastest pace in more than 5 years. JP Morgan Chase sees gold prices at record highs in 12 to 18 months. Rate hikes are typically headwinds for gold. Meanwhile, gold has gone up over 20% since 2022. Imagine where gold and silver are going to be when the Fed stops raising and starts cutting. So call the proud Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late and mention my name, Michael Malice. You'll always get best-in-class service from Patriots protecting Patriots. Patriot Gold Group has the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver, and you may be eligible for the no fee for life IRA on qualifying rollovers. Here's what you have to do. Call 888-505-9045 to get a free investor guide, or simply go to malicegold.com. Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer 6 years in a row. So please call 888-505-9845 or just go to malicegold.com. Folks, did you know that your temperature at night can have one of the greatest impacts on your sleep quality? And if you wake up too hot or too cold, I recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. They're inspired by NASA. Miracle Made uses silver-infused fabrics and makes temperature-regulating bedding so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. These fabrics were inspired by NASA. They're thermoregulated. They're designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long. You get better sleep every night. And because they're infused with silver, that prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth. They stay cleaner, fresher, 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors, and they're very comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands. They feel as nice, if not nicer, than bed sheets used by some 5-star hotels. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Clean sheets means less bacteria to clog your pores, fewer breakouts, and other skin problems. Go to trymiracle.com/malice to try Miracle Made sheets today. And if you're buying them for yourself as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use code MALICE at checkout, you get 3 free towels and save another 20%. Here's the kicker. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it, you get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/malice. Use code MALICE. Get your 3-piece towel set for free and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/malice to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Let's get back to the show. Let's talk about your jail experience. What was, obviously, the loss of freedom, but what was the worst aspect of it for someone who's never been to jail? And also, what parts of it aren't as bad as people would think, never having been in jail?
Well, solitary confinement was the worst part of it.
Sure, of course, yes.
Not knowing what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, not being able to defend myself, trusting this lawyer that obviously did not do a good job at all to defend me. And that's my opinion. I think, I'm sure has his own opinion, but you know, anybody else that I've talked to on the outside that was experiencing all this stuff from the outside was like, dude, I was wondering why you stuck with that guy, and it's because I didn't fully know.
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
stuck in the cell, you know.
You're in a
And
sinking
every
ship.
time-
You're going to grab any lifeboat.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
And anytime I tried to confront him about it, you know, I've been a lawyer for 30 years. I know what I'm doing, you know. So that was really difficult. And now here's something I will say about the treatment that I got. They could have fed me to the wolves if they wanted to. You know, they could have put me in a communication management unit where there's no phone calls, no mail, 23-hour lockdown. They could have put me in general population in the DC jail. They could have put me in a prison, like a medium level facility if they wanted to, that was, you know, and they could have rigged it to where I got my ass beat on a daily if they wanted to, which that's kind of concerning to think about, that they have that much power within their own system. But they didn't. They put me in Safford, Arizona, close to home so my family could visit. Safford, Arizona, from what the other prisoners who had been to other prisons, like they're taking a tour of the country, had told me, that Safford, Arizona was like, they called it Disneyland.
Okay.
I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me. You know, this sucks. But they said that the prisoners were saying the food wasn't bad. The programming that they had, you know, like
All right, ladies, I gotta let you go. I got some shit I gotta stop at before I go to my other site. Everybody,
they also had RDAP.
I'm gonna continue watching this on the road though.
And that's what they had me.
Pretty good shit. I'm gonna head out. We'll be back.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Later.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet next to me. I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Coming out with a statement. You really changed, man. All your music and arrangement. You don't know shit. Shut your mouth. You can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes. Positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate for taking control of your life. Go out and battle, and you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future. We all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer. What you say? Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it